What is up, everybody? Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Mullis. It is a pleasure to have you out here once again on a very beautiful Sunday night.
It's not beautiful here.
Well, not up in Canada. But
you guys ride sleds.
Oh yeah, ride sleds everywhere.
Is it snowing yet?
Igloos.
Yeah, I asked him the other day. I said, "Yo, what's up with the? When did you get your first sled? I know you guys don't ride cars up there."
Yeah, he did too.
Yeah, the K3000 is the model they have out here.
Just look at the picture of the CN Tower. All you see is like skyscraper igloos everywhere. That's all you see. Trust me.
All right, so we're off the rails already. All right, good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, everybody. Have a great night.
Look at this. We've got now 1, 2, 3, 4 of us on camera. It's slowly moving towards getting everybody's beautiful faces on our podcast.
I'll start doing it once I move to California, which will be soon.
Gotcha.
He just wants the city in the background.
Yeah, he
man.
wants to get
City of
plastic
Angels.
surgery, make his face look better.
There's no better place than California. Let me just tell you. Once I'll actually be, when I go out there, because I'll have LTE connection, I'll probably be walking around and doing the podcast while I'm walking around in the area and stuff.
Bacon. I see bacon in chat. That's awesome. I like bacon.
Bacon is for you guys. That's all good. So, all right. So it's a pleasure to have everybody out, and look, at the chat room's already hopping, man. That's awesome.
Too bad I can't see it, but hey.
Well, we got a few people already in there, already hanging out and talking bacon. Bacon and football.
Hey, there's turkey bacon, Mike, for you.
You guys, if you guys are talking about bacon, you guys are true Americans. America.
Speaking of which, real quick, obviously this is a different kind of night to podcast, so we do also, of course, recognize today is 9/11, the 15th anniversary of 9/11, and we want to just recognize the loss and sacrifice of those who were affected then and who have fought to keep us protected and never forget that day. So just a real quick moment. So thanks, guys. All right, so in other news, it is the start of football, so those of you who are
No! Shh!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm in
Video
Ravens land right now. So
I know, and you know what? The fact that people are watching the podcast when I know
Go Leafs, go.
when I know the Patriots are playing tonight, and everybody wants to see the Patriots go down. I hope.
Man, people
I'm
are
already into hockey season. Who cares about
Oh, I know. You're right.
I mean, who's pumped for the Patriots, right?
Man, I must have forgot that it was football coming. Oh, wait. No, I just didn't give a crap. That's right.
Yeah!
Well, hey, I've got to try to talk about football, because how often do I get to talk about a Lions win? I mean,
This is true.
God.
This is true. What a
Game.
great
What is
finish
this,
to
the
that.
short pause show? What the hell is this crap?
I have no idea what they're talking about.
It's a fantastic game.
It was a fantastic game.
Yeah,
Video games. They're happening.
Yes,
Video
yes,
games.
yes.
We all like video
Frankie,
games.
we know. Frankie, we know. Look at the shirt that Frankie bought just for
It's for the
this
show.
podcast. He is holding on to all hope.
I love Battleborn. It's such a good game.
I know that you do.
Overwatch.
He
We'll
loves
be
the
joining
game.
you
He
soon.
supports
We're
it.
joining you soon.
You have a great weekly thing you do on Short Pause called the Solus Project. Not
Souls
to be
Chronicles.
Chronicles, rather,
Solus
not to be confused with the
That's
Solus
the-
Project.
Yes.
So, and you are already being told that Overwatch is better from the chat.
Yep. From me, too.
However, to be fair, Frankie did buy Overwatch, correct?
I have both Battleborn and Overwatch on both consoles now.
See?
Nice.
So
See?
Frankie is a true gamer. Look at that.
I would be up for some afterwards if the Forza Horizon 3 demo isn't actually out.
Wouldn't hold
Yeah.
your breath on that demo.
I'm just going to keep checking through at the podcast. Is it up? No, it's not.
See, I wouldn't
We
hold
could
my
check it
breath
every-
on
If
it.
you see me hang my head like this, it's not up.
Twitter
All right, we
handle.
can check it during our live demos.
Horizon 3 demo live yet. And then
yeah.
just every like 20 minutes, just update. No, maybe.
Maybe.
No.
All right. Well, we will
gonna
be
give you
able
the big
to
old
break
middle
news.
finger.
Demo of the
We'll
year.
break news.
Breaking news.
Demo of the year.
All right.
Oh yeah.
DOTY.
Oh yeah.
So, let me get through everybody here. From my left to right, we have a special guest tonight. This is his first time on the podcast. The athlete today named Crazy Juan 77.
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
Another damn paradise.
Ooh.
Just happy to be free and on a human schedule, so I can hang with the crew tonight.
Yeah, you are
that's
you could actually try
Such
to
a nice.
game with us. Such a nice.
This is funny. This is my first time actually speaking to Juan in general. Like I don't even have him on Xbox or anything like that. So this is my first time actually talking to him. I've met everyone on here for their first time.
This is
Yeah.
true. This is true.
Yeah, it's about the same for me too. Actually, I have a Crazy One on Xbox. I just haven't played with him yet.
Well, I've been working those weird hours.
Yeah, I would have talked to him, but then I saw he was playing Kerbal Space Program, and I was like, this guy's weird.
Which, by the way, that is weird. Which, by the way, oh yeah, Texans did win as well. So hey, and by the way, if you have not seen those Kerbal Space Program videos, they're really good.
They are.
A couple of them have eclipsed the 3,000 to 4,000 view mark. So congratulations on that one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Those
nice.
are good,
That's
man.
great.
I like your videos. You do a great job with them.
Yeah,
And you're
I appreciate
also one or two missions away from finishing Crimson Skies, right?
Should be one, maybe two videos.
Nice. Those have been great too. I've watched those while they're rendering because they're really good. And I got to get back to playing that game too, since I do have a 360 upstairs that can play it.
Yeah, it's
I wish they
great going
relaunched
with
that game though.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
I don't know how you do it with the rights would be crazy because FASA folded. FASA Studios they had
yeah,
the rights
but-
to Battletech and
So who bought?
Well,
who bought the rights?
Microsoft
Anybody?
doesn't own the IP?
I don't think so.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Somebody's got
I
to
have no
own it.
idea.
Yeah, because there's still Battletech and MechWarrior things that would relate to MechAssault. There was a tabletop game that Crimson Skies was based upon, and that's all from the FASA publishing company made the board game tabletop games Battletech.
Right.
Crimson Skies. They were sued basically into oblivion by Harmony Gold for kind of swiping the Robotech designs for their mechs, and since then there hasn't. They've been repurchased now by Catalyst Game Labs, who do some really good stuff with that on paper, but they're not doing much in games yet.
Okay. I don't honestly care what it comes out at this point. It's the beauty of having.
Let me clarify. That's not entirely true. They are tied. I should say, games on console. They are tied heavily into the MWO, MechWarrior Online PC game, which was pretty great.
Right.
And also they've got with Harebrained Studios of the Shadowrun games, which are great, for the upcoming Battletech game, which is like the board game is going to be pretty amazing in my opinion.
All right. Cool. See, the knowledge that Crazy Juan brings to our podcast.
Knowledge.
Next up, of course, from Short Pause, he is Frankie Ailor, who in the middle of the week said, so excited to be back after some ons and offs, and it's good to have you back, sir.
Yeah. I feel better. I still have like kind of a runny nose thing going on, but
That's okay.
I can live with that. At least I can talk. Like
Yeah.
last Saturday, like literally, it was just like it was bad.
Yeah, we didn't want to listen to that.
Yeah,
either.
that wouldn't have
Yeah,
been good.
I wouldn't either.
No, that wouldn't have been good. So, and then we've got Madzu, who has been dropping bombs on the NLG channel lately,
Damn, yeah.
and
Bombs everywhere.
he's now on camera.
Yeah, sorry if I broke your computer screens, everybody, or your phones or tablets, whatever you're watching on.
Nice.
Now my wife can see when I'm texting her, right now.
So if you
I
haven't,
texted her a minute ago. So
yep,
Honey,
so if
I'm
you haven't,
live. I'm live.
he's got just put up a great NHL video that goes to that first part of the NHL 17 part, and so of course NHL 17 will be out shortly. It's out on EA Access now, and I think it may be on Origin Access too. I have to check. But then it'll be out for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. And there was something else you've been doing, Monsters and Monocles, and you're putting
I
up...
streamed some King Oddball today.
Yes.
Oh, that was fun. He
Yeah,
sucks at it, but it's fun.
That was a fun little game, I got to admit. I was having fun.
King Oddball is kind of like... I mean, I looked at it and immediately said, all right, this is an Angry Birds clone.
Yeah, it looks like it. He did a pretty good job on the stream, too. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing is he kind of sucks at the game, but other than that...
Hey, you buy the game and then you tell me you're better, okay?
No problem.
Oh, man.
Then I better tweet out to the developer, hey, look, I sold your game.
Right.
Everybody said they were better than me. I said, well, prove me wrong.
Challenge people. Get them to go buy it.
I challenge you, Drake, to King Oddball.
It just doesn't have the same ring to it as...
1v1 me, bro.
1v1 me, bro. Do you even 1v1, bro? Speaking of bros, it's the beautiful one, Western Drake 20. Joe, what's up, man?
He ain't beautiful.
What's up, man? How you guys doing? Oh, good.
Yeah, our illegible bachelor.
Yeah.
Illegible bachelor.
Oh, you poor thing. So you're headed to California way, huh?
Yep.
Going out there to find some internet?
I already have pretty good internet, but I guess.
It's a South Park. It's a South Park joke. Watch South Park.
Is that North or South Cali?
I don't know. I'm moving to Ontario. I have no idea. I have no idea where that is. I've never been there, so.
Kind of like
I'm pretty sure that's Canada.
Yeah.
No, Ontario.
That's
That's
Everywhere's Canada.
what
We're
came to my
growing
mind
every day.
too. That's what came to my mind too.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, isn't Ontario where Costco ships from?
I have no
Probably,
idea.
I don't know.
I think so. I think that's Ontario.
Yeah.
Ontario, California. Yeah.
All right. So you'll be out there in a week or two, right?
Yeah, about a week or two.
All right.
About a week or two.
Shout out to Enrique.
He's already plugging.
Who didn't even get into the chat room for a minute before he's pimping the Basement Radio Arcade podcast, which goes live. Hold on, I'll do it for him. Which goes live Tuesday night at 9 p.m.
I was on there this week.
I know, man. That was
cool.
awesome.
I love what he says too. He goes, "You got to plug it where you can, man."
Yeah, he learned from the best. So, all right. So, and then finally we have live from Ocean City, Maryland, on vacation for the second time.
For the second
From
time
a hotel
this year.
room. It's HGK. He's in the podcast. What's up, Peter?
Hey, he's in the podcast. Yeah, I'm enjoying the vampire flies over here. My goodness, it's sucking me dry. It's a fly. Zika flies. I don't know.
Yo, I got a question. Where do you get all your money at to be going on vacation this much?
How do you know I'm not sponsored?
All that YouTube money.
This is NLG. Got that credit card, and
Triple
racking it
Platinum
up.
MasterCard courtesy of Mike Mullis.
Like the Bat credit card? Like
The Bat card. Oh, God, from the worst Batman movie ever.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man, the Patriots are up 10. With a backup quarterback, no less.
Yo,
right.
man. Usually I tell my boy Weckless he sounds like Tina from Bob's Burgers, but you just sounded like her. Wow.
All right. So I wanted to. So we obviously big news this week. And before we get to that, nothing happened.
I don't think anything happened.
Dude, huge news.
King Oddball was released. Yeah,
King Oddball was released, and Mario Run. I mean,
Mario Run.
Breaking news. This shattered the internet.
Yeah,
and you can play with one hand.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it's not Sonic, because Sonic sucks.
You know what? How do I kick you off this podcast?
He's not wrong.
Honestly, that doesn't sound like
wrong.
sense.
He's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Highly wrong.
Yo,
Highly wrong. That's all I got to say.
I knew that the guy that looks like the person from what's it called, Hangover, would agree with me. Oh man.
Someone else told me that too. They're gonna start calling me Zach Galifianakis.
That was me. That was me.
Joe.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
that was
There was
him.
somebody else though. Someone I work with. So.
I think though that Mario Run is very smart. I think it's the gateway drug for casuals to better Mario games. And I wish I could credit the gentleman I saw on Twitter who had linked to an article that said that, but I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea too.
What was the article?
Basically, why it's smart for Nintendo to have him on stage with the Apple for that game, because basically what you've got kind of a basic introduction to Mario for all the people who are we saw what Pokemon Go did as far as bringing people into gaming. So you get these people with their phones playing something kind of like Mario, with all that look and the characters, and then they say, hey, at the end of the thing, here's a link to where you can buy, a real Mario game, and and I think that could be really profitable for them. I think.
Well, it can also, in all honesty, it can also introduce a whole slew of new people to their brand new console when they decide to talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a younger crowd than a fogey like me who still wants to have his console on his big screen, because those young people, they love their mobile devices and phones and tablets, and it's aimed straight at that burgeoning market, if you will.
Yeah. So
they're handheld consoles.
Mobiles and tablets and computers.
Don't start that. No, please don't start that.
That one alone. No, I'm not going
Don't
there.
start that one.
I'm not going there.
Lord have mercy. And yeah, by the way, once again, thanks, Frankie. Frankie knows what I'm talking about. Thanks a lot.
If only it was the day before. It was the
People say
day.
I'm bad, but Frankie's the instigator.
Yeah, really, this is all your fault actually. So you blame him. He started it.
No, you.
No,
all right.
You go back to where that started. Him.
Who?
Juan.
Oh, it always goes back to Juan.
He is a crazy Juan.
He's the one.
It's so obviously we have something big to talk about this week, and we're gonna get to it. I do want to address something though, and it's kind of funny that we used Nintendo to get to this. This podcast is for the people that are out there. It's not for us. It's for people listening. It's for all of our great people in the chat room. And so from time to time, I do get feedback on how we're doing, what we're doing, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. As long as it's constructive, I always take feedback either way. I always want to, we as a group always want to make this podcast better, and we do want people to listen, and we want people to come and find us. So one of the feedback pieces that I got, which I want to make sure I address for everybody, is that we tend to spend less time on certain things and more time on others. In the last couple of months, it's been Microsoft news, and not so much Sony news, not so much Nintendo news, but a lot of Microsoft news. So here's the thing. It has very little to do with what anybody here owns or doesn't own or plays or doesn't play. I mean, there are multiple of us here that have multiple consoles. I do. Frankie does. Jason and Peter have gotten into PC gaming. So we try to cover everything. We truly, honestly do. But because we're not a single-centric podcast of anything, we're not an Xbox podcast, we're not a PlayStation podcast, we're not a Nintendo podcast, we're not a PC podcast, we're an all-encompassing podcast.
No, we're a Battleborn podcast.
Ugh.
This is their uniform. Did you guys not get the email? What the hell?
Pretty much what you're trying to say is we can only cover if there's news about such and such.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
You can't talk about something if there's nothing
We can
to
make
talk
up
about.
stuff.
We spent a lot of
you can
time,
make up
and to
stuff.
be fair, we spent a lot of time talking about what the Neo could be, what the NX could be, and after a while, I get tired of companies just not talking, which is what was great about Wednesday, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to make it clear, the reason that we've been talking about Xbox more than we've been talking about other consoles and PC lately is because the honest truth is, if you step back and you look at it from the 30,000-foot view, they're the ones that are pumping news out almost week in and week out. They're putting out something all the time, and something, typically it's significant stuff, whether it was the Gears Horde mode, whether it was stuff like that. But we even take things that they talk about, and if we don't feel like they're right or wrong, if we feel like they're wrong on something, like when Aaron talked about how great Quantum Break sold, I'm pretty sure we called him out on that. We go where the news is, and so unfortunately, Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony, they don't talk. They don't put out a lot of press releases. They just we're stuck still wondering what the hell the Nintendo NX is. We don't know. And every week I can't go back and say, well, what do we think the NX is this week, guys? And we have a 20-minute conversation on it. So I just wanted to make sure that people understood the reason that we cover something so heavy. And I've said this from time to time when I felt like we were Xbox heavy. It's not because we're an Xbox podcast. We're not. It's just because they're in the news, and Sony and Nintendo kind of stay quiet. When Pokemon Go came out, we covered Pokemon Go a lot. When Miitomo came out, we had a whole half-hour discussion on Miitomo, and we're downloading it while we were talking about it. I can't wait until we find out what the NX is so we can go over it. So that's just my. I just wanted to make sure that I covered that, because again, we do take everybody's feedback seriously. This is a podcast for you guys. We want to make sure that we're giving you the content that you want, but at the same time, I have to explain why the content is headed in a certain direction. That all said, Wednesday was Sony's time in the limelight. They had their PlayStation meeting, and we finally got our first look at the PlayStation Near Pro. It's now called the PS4 Pro. And yep. And
PS Pro.
PS Pro. I started liking when you said that.
I didn't say that. I don't know. I think there was a typo somewhere, and then Frankie just went with it.
Actually, listening to the presentation again, I think Mark Cerny said it, or Andrew House, or somebody.
Oh, did they?
I think it was Mark Cerny that said PS.
I'm telling you, they were referencing Bob Ross, because that's what Mark Cerny sounded like when he was. And now we're gonna PS4 Pro.
Yeah, let's talk about just the presentation itself, and then we get to the meat and potatoes, because that presentation was
tell
like
you a little bit our new CPU and GPU that we put inside.
Yeah.
It is such a nice.
Like Andrew House, he told you like, hey, you got cancer. And, Mark Cerny, he went over the treatment plan. That's what it sounded like. It's like, it was boring as, it must have been the worst presentation I've ever seen. So, if everybody agrees, then let's move on to the actual.
I couldn't make it through a second time. I couldn't watch it through a second time. I watched like a good chunk of it, and they're like, I can't watch this.
Well, personally, I think the actions or the mannerisms of the people giving the presentation were kind of dull. It was not terrible in its content and the message it delivered. It didn't miss bad.
No, exactly.
Well, the other thing too, but let's be honest here. This wasn't an E3 press conference. They billed this as a meeting, so they didn't pack the house with.
And meetings are boring. We all know that.
Right. They didn't pack the house with fans, or they had media there, but they didn't have. It wasn't a fan fest. So go ahead.
But I mean, if they would have spruced it up a little bit, then people are like, hey, that sounds exciting. But if you don't sound very exciting, then the audience will not get excited.
Here's what's interesting is that it was PlayStation bloggers and like Colin Moriarty and Greg, those guys were kind of saying the same thing, and I understand that. but I don't think that's what this was about. I think it was just kind of a here it is, you know.
Yeah.
Here it is. We'll give you no reason to buy it, but here it is.
Well,
Right, here it is.
Well,
They
there's
might
no
have well
reason.
lifted the curtain and just walked out. Here it is.
Yeah, that's all it should have been.
well,
No, I
and
think-
and what? Go ahead.
Well, I think they gave a reason. I mean, it's going to have compelling looking games. They're going to look really sweet. It doesn't have a small amount of power, and and you're going to have exclusives. You're going to have things that the fans want. They want an exclusive on their system, and they're going to get it. It's going to be a good year for Sony fans, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought we were not talking about that, but just more about the presentation of those two guys.
Well, we also want to talk about the actual console because
Right.
Right,
exactly.
But I mean, if we're talking about the meeting itself first, I
Let's
just
get it out of the way.
yeah, I don't like. I saw on Twitter, oh my God, they're not even clapping. I didn't expect that. I mean, it could just be me because I think that they tried to build this.
It was
as
just all
something
journalists and
Yeah,
investors.
well, but here's another thing.
probably.
You go to an Apple event and it's all full of journalists and other stuff, and they clap and cheer, and I don't know. Maybe don't know. But yeah, let's get to the meeting.
Maybe
Let's
they
get to
did
the
like a
meeting.
game show and have the little applause, singing lights up, and everybody. Oh, okay, yeah, woo!
No, but let's get to the meat and potatoes, to the actual console that's was revealed.
All right. Well, first thing, before we get to the Pro, can we talk about the Slim for a minute?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way first.
So,
Yeah.
Frankie, are you still eating?
No,
He's
Oh,
trying to
I
read
thought
the
you
comments.
passed out.
All right.
reading the comments. The Basement Radio Arcade podcast is on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. It's in
I've
the
already
comments.
said that. I have already plugged it for
Oh
him.
well, I just
He gets
saw
one-
it again.
He gets one plug per week.
One
Yeah,
plug
otherwise you're gonna
per hour or something. God
So-
only knows.
The Slim.
All right, so I want to start with the Slim. This is the one that I don't understand more than anything. The Pro, I've had a chance to go back and think, and kind of assess it, and my thoughts on it now have evolved a bit from Wednesday. The Slim I don't understand at all.
No, also with the price difference too. It's so close.
Yeah.
Well, right, and the Slim being $299, excuse me, the Slim being $299, and not being as feature rich as the Xbox One S, and
PS4.
let's put the Neo versus Xbox One S thing to the side for a minute because this has nothing to do with that. I'll get to that, but the Slim itself, without having the 4K capabilities, without having the same capabilities that the Xbox One S does, but at the same price as the 500 gig model, I don't. If you are not specifically looking for the Pro model, and you are just looking for an entry level console, if I'm walking into a store and I
Right.
see the PS4 and I see the Xbox One S, aren't I going to lean towards the S in that scenario? Even if I don't have a 4K TV. Now, not having a 4K TV is the reason I'm not upgrading from my current Xbox One to the Xbox One S, because I'm completely happy with my Xbox One. But if I'm a new person and I'm looking, unless I'm looking at game by game, and I'm looking at exclusives versus exclusives, if I'm going in to buy the next, Call of Duty or Battlefield or or whatnot, what's my incentive for buying the Pro, or for buying the Slim?
It's tough to say, honestly. When I look at it, and our man Deacon made a good point about that.
Can you elaborate? I don't know exactly what he said.
He made a good point, and it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a good
What
point.
was-
Okay,
yeah.
let's move
Well,
on.
I had some audio issues. I apologize. But no, what he was saying was,
What was
you
the
could
pro?
get a OG PlayStation 4 for less than the Slim. So unless the form factor is very important to you, it would be the way to go, because you would also have the audio output and.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna. I mean, well, they're going to. I'm assuming going forward, this new model is the model, and they're going to phase out the original, just like they're going to phase out the Xbox One OG. So, now let me answer a question, because we do like to pull questions from the chat room, and our good friend Jabril is in there, and he is a great man. He brings some great stuff in that chat room, as they all do. Welcome in also Nilskoni. We love you. Thanks. But he's asking, what's your incentive for buying the 1S if you don't care about UHD? The issue that I would say, which I don't think anybody's thinking of, is we always talk about future-proofing as well. You know, these consoles were also billed as future-proof. So why wouldn't you go into the console that you know you can grow into? You know, with the PS4 Slim, you have no shot at moving up to UHD. The Xbox One S, if I don't have a 4K TV now, but I'm thinking in the future of having one, that's the console I would go to, because then I can grow into it. And that's, I think, what people aren't seeing. And the issue, the biggest issue here, is that they're the same price. If they weren't the same price, I thought the PS4 Slim was going to be $250. Was
me too.
Yeah, $249. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was, and then that would have been like a neck snap. I mean,
right.
Honestly.
Right. But I'm wondering if they left themselves room for during the holidays to discount them to like $249 or less,
or bundle it.
Because if they're already at $249 right now, it's like, you know, how much lower can you go?
I think bundles are the future. I think price breaks are not. We've seen that too many times because what happens is and Microsoft made this mistake a couple years ago. They dropped the price, and then they brought the price back up, and they got annihilated that month.
Yeah.
They had to bring the price back down. I don't know if they could do that.
But yeah.
I think what you're looking at now are bundles. I think that's the future, and there is already there's already an Uncharted 4 bundle for the PS4 Slim.
NHL
So again, if you're going and looking at that, if you're going and going, well, I don't want an Xbox, I want a PS4 because I want Uncharted. Well, then you're going to buy the Slim, or you're going to buy the Pro, depending on what you want to spend. But if I'm going in and just looking at, you know, I'm looking at the shelf and I see, oh, they both have Battlefield, they both have Call of Duty, they both have all the major games that I really want to buy. I mean, seriously, which, you know, Frankie, which one are you going towards?
Neither.
No, I'm. Play along. Play along. You're a new customer. You're going in and buying this console for the first time. You see them both. Which one presents more value?
It really depends on what people are looking for, though. Like, yes, the 4K Blu-ray player is great, especially for me personally. That's why I would lean that personally, but I have a bandwidth cap that I have to contend with every month. So game downloads, title updates, all that stuff, on top of streaming 4K, that's going to be a killer on my bandwidth. So for me personally, like I already have a couple UHD movies, so I would have something to play them on. But I also don't have 4K TV. If and 4K is like slowly becoming the standard. So, you know, again, like you mentioned, future proof. When you buy a new TV at some point in time, in all likelihood, it's going to be 4K. But you know, the other thing too is like with 4K and UHD, like there's certain specs that you have to look for within the TV that would actually be beneficial to the console itself. So, you know, again, like.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still like latency things. Like, there's a lot of stuff you have to look into when you jump into this crap. So,
but that's regardless of, you know, any console.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. For me personally, I guess the Xbox One S, just because, like I said, if I do get a 4K TV and want to stream 4K video, or want to watch 4K video, I don't want to be streaming it.
Okay. I mean,
but if I'm buying a console to play games. Again, it's still a tough call, you know. Like personally,
but the Xbox One S upscales to 4K and the PS4 Slim doesn't.
The PS4 Slim's gonna get that HDR patch too, though. So they're gonna be doing something with HDR.
Yeah, we have to see how that's gonna work with the whole HDMI spec, etc.
Yeah.
What they can do.
Mhm.
That will be
Did they-
interesting to watch.
Did they upgrade the spec? They had to have upgraded the HDMI spec in the Slim. They can't be the same 1.4.
Yeah, but it
Can't
was
hurt.
even the original PS4, right?
That's the one that I'm wondering about. I thought that was a great announcement, and
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
and then but people were starting to wonder, well, wait a minute, why wouldn't the Xbox OG Xbox do it as well? And then people started to kind of look it up, and the HDMI spec doesn't cover HDR. So then people started to wonder, well, wait a minute, how's Sony going to do that?
It's my
We're going to
understanding-
find out.
Yeah, it's my understanding they did that with their televisions.
Yeah,
They-
that's what I
they had
read, that
up-
they did it with their Bravas or whatever.
Right.
Or Bravias.
So they might know
Okay.
something about that.
All right, well, we're going to find out because last week they said
Yeah.
next week they're going to release it, and that's this week. So we're going to find
Is
out.
it going to be
one
with
way or
the firmware 4.0?
Yeah, that would have to be. If it's a firmware update, it's probably packed into the 4.0 firmware. So I guess that'll be out
It
this
will
week.
be interesting. We'll have news next week. PS news.
PS News.
Right. So-
Niles is like, I'm thinking about upgrading my PS3.
But I think we're getting close to ecosystems like Xbox
That's your other piece of it.
and PlayStation ecosystem. Same thing as Apple and Android. So it's interesting.
Yeah, if anybody wants to read the firmware update news from the TV, I posted a link in chat. So kind of proof that they've done it before.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and look, if they're it's not, on Twitter, I can never say it right. It's Weinstein. He's a German guy. Does a lot of work out there. He said that the chip that the HDMI was on was not upgradable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look, it may be. Like I said, the great part is that we're going to find out. And if that is the case, then next podcast we will make sure we clarify it. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then again,
But-
I don't see them saying something, we're going to do this and then not do it a week later, Because how bad would that look for them?
Well, there was that whole mods thing.
Well,
I know that's entirely different.
yeah, that's a whole different story. So, all right, so we've covered the Slim. So now let's move to the Pro. And I want to get everybody else's opinion before I give mine. However, before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody's got the right information on this because there has been a lot of back and forth as to exactly what it does, exactly what it has in it, and so on. And there's been a lot of, to be quite honest, there's been a lot of misinformation out there. People just saying things that they honestly, I don't think, know about or don't want the thing to be able to do that it does. So, Sid Schumann from Sony Interactive, he wrote up his giant blog. I'm going to run through it for those that have not seen it.
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna-
that was a great fact.
It was an excellent fact. Hey,
I wish that's why I tweeted this to Alan Greenberg, saying like, "Hey, pay attention. This is because it's very clear and concise and."
Well, it's got great information that we didn't hear about
Yes.
in the meeting.
Mhm.
So, they're billing this not as a new console as much as basically a mid console cycle upgrade. So obviously they want not only new gamers to buy it, but they do want some PS4 owners to upgrade to it. Some current PS4 owners to upgrade it. And I think they're going to need that in order for this thing to be as successful as they hope it will. So it's a high-end version of the PS4. So they're basically not calling it anything but a PS4 because obviously it also says PS4 Pro. And it will make supported PS4 games looking better, run more smoothly, which is what they said. And what I found out the other day, and I'm just going to switch over to here, is that games that support that feature are going to have this PS4 Pro Enhanced sticker on them. So,
all right, a sticker.
Yeah, cool.
More stickers
Well,
for you.
more stickers. So, obviously Horizon Zero Dawn, which looks stunning. And it looks stunning just on its own. Forget all the PS4 Plus stuff, PS Pro stuff that...
PS Pro.
Forget all that stuff. This game is going to be hot fire when it comes out. I cannot wait for Horizon Zero Dawn. Mass Effect Andromeda, Watch Dogs 2, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I heard, though, was not running at 4K 60 yet, but we've got a couple months to go. So let's get back to the fact.
Titanfall 2 is also going to be
Titanfall 2. There's a growing list. I've even seen some indie developers that are adding PS Pro features to their games as well.
Yeah,
so,
I think The Witness is getting one too.
The Witness is. And so those people who are wondering how supported this console is, this new version, the early support looks really good. So let's see. So
as it should. I mean, it's
Well, you need it. They need developers to put pro modes in these things to sell the console, obviously. So everybody can jump in because I can't see. I know you guys can't see me because I'm showing the screen. So just jump in when you need to. So it's going to launch November 10th. It's already up for pre-order in a couple places. They are not going to have any pro exclusive games. So everything will be, as they called it, forward compatible. And so, Uncharted 4 has a mode. Last of Us Remastered will. Infamous First Light. I don't know why they.
Last of Us is actually slated to run in native as well.
That I believe. I believe that is true. Shadow of Mordor, Deus Ex, Mankind, and more. A couple of them are actually slated to be native 4K. That was one of the things that. So this was one of the confusing things that came out of the meeting, and I had said this was. Wait, did they just say they weren't going to hit 4K with this? They were going to do checkerboarding and rendering tricks. So there are a couple of games that, as Juan just said, are going to be native 4K, which aren't going to use rendering tricks. Now there won't be any graphic enhancement, and I'm going to get to that later in the fact here. But they'll at least get up to 4K. It's not upscaling. It's not checkerboarding. So those people who are saying that this thing cannot do native 4K, that is incorrect. And developers are saying outright that it will. So all existing PS4 games are compatible, which is good. You will not have to. So I wonder if they added this because there was this weird translation from a Japanese magazine that suggested that developers might charge consumers for pro patches, and it turns out to be incorrect. However, this is kind of troubling. And those of you in the chat room, I know some of you, I'm going to move the chat room over here. I know some of you guys, because I can't see the chat room while it's up. I know
you got a pro at checkers in the chat room, though.
Yes, I see. While nothing specifically prevents publishers and developers from doing this, so we don't anticipate it at this time. That doesn't say to me, no, you can't do it. That says to me it's a possibility. So
didn't we see one game that had where you could buy the enhancement on the store?
I hope not.
Store for $19.99 or something like that.
God,
I seen like a tweet that had that or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's definitely if that's the case, that would be slightly troubling. But
that would be slightly troubling. So, but software updates enabling PS4 features on any existing first-party title will be free. So Sony won't do it, but
okay, so other ones could.
Isn't that the type of disclaimer they had for like the DRM stuff at the beginning of the generation? We won't do it, but developers have a choice.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't come to pass. I hope it doesn't, because that would be bad. So.
But on the other hand, say like an older game, it's like how many people are gonna replay the older game
Well, and
even if
that's
it does have HDR. I mean, certain titles I could understand, like Uncharted, perhaps, but who knows? I mean, yeah,
well, and Uncharted's a good one because it has a multiplayer component.
yeah, true.
So, the multiplayer component is 900p 60. They could bring that up to 1080 or bring it up to 4K, and you could play multiplayer. So, that's. But I hope they wouldn't charge for it. That would be bad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that would be a shame. But
I don't know. I mean, it's work for them to do it, right? I wouldn't judge them if they wanted to be paid for the work required to do it.
True, but that would be. Wow.
I don't remember who had the article up, but someone was saying that essentially doing this stuff is how they develop games for PC. Like they have to, people have different graphics cards, so they design their game around, these different optimizations, and that's essentially what this is going to be for them now.
Yep.
Is developing with this console that has different specs, so they're just essentially. It sounds like it's just sliders on their end.
Well, and
I mean, there's a little bit of work, like testing and other stuff. But yeah, I mean, like all your what's it called? All your models, etc., are already in 4K. All your assets and stuff.
True, like World of Tanks was. I mean, how easy would it be?
Yep.
How easy would it be for World of Tanks to come up? So.
I mean, it's always a little bit of work. And
while I am looking at the chat room as well. So somebody had mentioned Elder Scrolls, which is true. Elder Scrolls will also be a native 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And so will Tomb Raider will not be, but it goes into Tomb Raider said 4K, but then I think it was Eurogamer that found out it's checkerboarding. But this goes to the next thing. And yes, Enrique, I still contend these are apology consoles. I will not budge from that point. This is the S in PS4 Pro is for sorry. Anyway, will the PS4 require a 4K TV? No. So this is where a game like Tomb Raider comes into account. Tomb Raider is going to have multiple modes. So, what benefits does the PS4 provide that is not on a 4K TV? Apparently, if the game detects that you're not using a 4K TV, it will make graphic enhancements at 1080p, and it may do it automatically, or it may require you to choose it. Apparently, Tomb Raider is going to have 3 modes. One is going to be a 4K checkerboarded upscaled mode, which does no enhancements to the game graphically, but just brings it up to 4K. A second mode that will do 1080p, but will do between 45 and 60 frames per second. They said originally 60 frames locked, but then people were realizing, the demos were looking about 45 and up. But that's still better than what the 30, you got in 30. And then there will be a locked 30 frame per second mode, but will have significant graphic enhancements. So that's what will happen with these games if you do not have 4K TV. And a couple of developers have already said, if you have a 1080p television, what you'll see are better lighting or graphical fidelity.
Like draw distance and stuff as well.
Draw distance, things like that.
Yep.
So all ecosystem stuff works. All of your accessories work back and forth. There's a new, I gotta find it, but they brought out a couple of new DualShock designs and a new camera design. So the latest DualShock has the light bar on the front instead of the back.
Doesn't it have both? I thought it had both.
Yeah, I think it's got both.
Does it have both?
Whatever.
Yeah, I think it has a little bit of light shining through on the top.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, that illuminates the same
Just so
color.
you can,
That is the light
just so
bar.
you know what one you have or whatever.
Gotcha. Nope, I see it.
Right. Hey, one question I have. Does it say anything about that for PSVR you need all the cables and a little box and all the other stuff? Do you still need that or not?
They don't list
see or read
PSVR
anything
in
about
here that I thought. I don't think they listed PSVR in here. They didn't talk much about it. It just says it'll support it.
Even during the meeting, I mean, they only mentioned it like once, very briefly, and that was it. It's like, whoa, did I fall asleep and miss it, or?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think we're all having a nap.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'll go through it a little quicker then, since the chat room is buzzing. These guys are talking, which is great, and they're all being respectful to each other, which is even better. There's no console warring going on in there. There's no fanboyism going on in there. It's great conversation. Guys, keep it up. And I'm trying to keep up with the chat room too while I'm doing that. So, if I see anything of significance, we'll talk about it. All right,
please do, Mike, because I don't have access to the chat right now.
No problem. HDR does not do Dolby Vision, which I guess that means death knell for Dolby Vision. You do need a premium HDMI cable, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here is a point of contention. Does the PS4 Pro support Ultra 4K Blu-ray discs? No, it does not. It does not have a UHD Blu-ray player in it. So, there's been some talk in the chat room about the Xbox One's UHD player, whether or not it's a good player or not. So some people are saying it's not. Some people are saying it is. And anybody who says the Dreamcast blows can leave my chat room. Nels.
Did I tell you I got one of those?
All right. You know what? It's okay. You're going to make me go over and grab it and hug it again. That's fine. So, all right, I'm going to stop sharing. I don't think there's anything else really in here. Remote play gets an enhancement. This was not talked about at all, and I don't understand why. The remote play will now stream up to 1080p, which the current PS4 streams to 720. And you will now be able to also stream to YouTube directly at 1080p 60.
That's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
That's cool.
That is. Considering that Microsoft still can't even stream to YouTube at all.
Yeah.
Look.
Although they had some YouTube folks over, right? I saw something about like socks and stuff that were exchanged. So who knows? Maybe they're talking finally. Getting something going.
It's something they're missing. Right. Although now they have Beam, so who knows what? I don't know what's going to happen with that. But they need YouTube streaming. All right, so I think that's about it. That was kind of significant though that they didn't talk about was remote play and share play.
Also,
that's. Go ahead.
Did they also mention that there's going to be improvement to game captures and screenshots?
Yes, you'll be able to screen. Yep. You'll be able to capture screens at 4K.
Yeah, that will be nice.
Yep, and 1080 video, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be able to. Yeah, at launch you'll be able to broadcast a YouTube stream as high as 1080p 60. Which is high. Higher resolution gameplay clips and screenshots compared to the standards. Specifics will vary by game, but some games will support full 1080p video and screenshots up to 4K.
Which will be nice.
So that's huge.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. So, all right. So now we can get into actually talking about it. And I want to, like I said, now that you guys have seen it all, I want to get your opinions on it before I give mine, because, like I said, my thoughts on this have evolved since Wednesday. So, Juan, we'll start with you.
Me. It's priced right to start. I think it's a good value for what you're going to get. I think that's
it's $3.99, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's before you're talking about any bundles or Black Friday deals, right? So I think that's great. I think that I as the Xbox guy, me appreciates the downward pressure that might put on Scorpio, but that's another discussion. I think it's going to be a really nice thing for the PlayStation fan who wants that upgrade, wants more from his PlayStation. It's priced. I mean, back when I used to build PCs, you could spend that much on a graphics card update, and that's I think what they're going to kind of get that same boost. I think that's going to be real good for them. I don't really see any mistakes made with it.
Okay. Is it one? I mean, are you looking at it yourself for one?
If I were to buy a PlayStation, it'd be to get games that to quote, Office Space, I wouldn't say that I've missed, but like the Uncharted and such. And I might just go with a Slim for that, just because of the expected bundling or whatever on that kind of price. Because with what I've got about a dozen retro consoles. I have the Xboxes through. I have some PC gaming. I don't really need more games or more hardware, so it's not really big on my radar. But I can absolutely understand Sony fans being excited for that console, and I think it's going to do really well. I think at that price it's going to sell like crazy, and that's going to make them happy too. But yeah, no, I don't see a lot of mistakes made with that. The only mistake I would say from the whole presentation was the price on the Slim.
I don't need more games, said no gamer ever.
I don't know, man.
Hey, you need to keep the backlog growing, man.
Right.
Yeah, it changes too as you age, because I turn 40 next year, and I don't have the same time or
The older you get, the less time you have.
or the ability to do the 30 straight hour session or whatever like I used to for EQ.
Well, I think
Oh man.
it's not the age. It's how many kids you have.
Yeah, it's
Well,
the
you're about-
responsibilities that you pick up along
Man,
the way.
crazy. You're
I don't know
about
if
to
the amount of
40-year-olds
kids
who can
matters,
game all
Mike.
day.
It's just having kids, plural.
crazy. You're about to join
Any kids,
the old
yeah.
farts club with HCK, Madzu, and Stinger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I put in for my AARP card next week.
Yeah. You're almost to the age where you need to retire, man.
Traded my Mustang for a hybrid. And
Nice.
Hey, make
For a
sure you tell your kids to
For a
start putting you in a
minivan.
home quick. Your kids need to put you in a home quick, man.
my home just you know what? If it fed me and I could play video games all day, I'll be okay with that.
This is why we game. Let's be honest. This is why we game.
Keep us feeling young.
Indeed.
Until you
Hey,
find out your
can't put me in a home
reflexes.
yet. I can still play video games.
Until your reflexes don't work properly and your fingers are tripping over each other.
Well,
That's when you buy a Wii and get Wii Sports.
there is
Esports.
Play Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Hey, Mario Kart was awesome.
Yeah.
yes,
It
it
is.
was.
Dude, that's the only reason
still
that
it's
almost
a lot of
made
fun.
me. That's the only reason why I almost bought a Wii U was because of Mario Kart. Other than that, nah.
I have it on the Wii.
But yeah, just to recap, I think the Plus, or I'm sorry, the Pro is a good move. I think it's not the business mistake or anything. I've seen some articles on it like that. I think if there's any negative, it's that for the people who care a lot about having the most powerful console, it will be eclipsed and it will be a while before it's replaced. That was pretty much confirmed. I can't remember the article, but I know that's been said it would be a considerable time before another console hits the market. So there will be some that might be disappointed in that. But honestly, I think once they start actually seeing the games and everything, I think with that whole year they'll be fine.
Okay, I agree. Frankie?
Like you said, that conference was a complete disaster, and I think a lot of just the misinformation that people had with this thing coming out of the gate was bad at first, but it was a week on. We got more details. There was I think Juan actually retweeted that Venture Beat article, which is a really good read, by the way. But they're talking about how the console isn't necessarily 4K, but it doesn't really need to be. It's a $400 console. It does a lot of tricks that work well enough to make it feel like it's convincing for you to have a console that's actually beneficial to your 4K TV, supposedly. Again, I don't know. Until I actually try this thing out, whatever. But if I'm going to listen to any kind of website write-up, it would be VentureBeat. As far as it goes, or Next Level Gaming, shortpause.com.
Or short pause.
But as far as me ever getting one, I mean, if anything happens to my PlayStation 4 and I'm torn between the Slim and the Pro with $100 difference, I would probably just get the Pro. At some point in time, my TV is currently, she's 8-9 years old. So at some point in time, I have to replace it. And we have been talking about getting another TV because we have one in the front room that's like a computer monitor. So I've been wanting to get a bigger TV for a while. So I'll probably actually look into something 4K. But I don't know. I mean,
somehow I thought you already got a new TV. No, maybe I dreamt about it.
No, that was that Xbox. I have an Xbox Slim and a PSVR.
Okay,
Jen signed off on these. That's the only reason I'm getting them, is because she was okay with it.
that's awesome though.
Yes, I
Nice.
love that lady. But the thing with the thing Juan you just mentioned, actually, I wanted to talk about this. The primary difference between the base PS4 and the PS4 Pro, the PS Pro, is the GPU is new and they're overclocking the existing CPU. So what that's telling me is that they're sticking this new GPU in there with all these older components that aren't really going to let that thing bring out its true potential. In my opinion, that's leaving that thing open to be iterated on again in like another 2 years at least. Like the other components to that thing are gonna drop, and they're gonna be able to look at it and say, hey, we can stick more expensive things in here that will actually bring out the power of the new GPU.
Just
Same price,
follow the
$399.
Apple model.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I honestly would not be surprised if we see another iteration or two at least on this thing before we see like Sony's real Scorpio competitor, which I honestly don't think they're going to do until next gen.
All right.
I'm not sure if it's gonna be. Yeah, I don't. To me, it's like from now on, it's gonna be. There's iterative consoles. There's not gonna be a PS5. What you said, they're gonna swap out some components in 2 years. Another 2 years later, so they can do that again.
Well,
Maybe add more RAM.
That's the thing that's kind of confusing me
and
too. Is like with the Scorpio especially, like looking at that thing, like the specs that we know of it, they're going to be doing themselves a severe disservice having to support not only the existing Xbox One, but that as well. With the amount of power they're going to pack into the thing, and to not at some point in time release games exclusively for it, they have to.
They're going to.
They can't.
They're going to.
That's the problem.
They already.
Yeah.
That's what happens. They and Sony's in the same position. They box themselves in by saying that they're not leaving any gamer behind. They cannot do it.
Right.
Well, they have to say that and they probably do for the next 2 years. But after that, it's like, it might run on your 2 or 4 year old system, but we're moving forward.
Yeah, at some point in time, you can imagine like the PlayStation, the Pro is going to become the Slim. $299, that'll get you the Pro. Here's the next iteration on it for $399.
Mm-hmm.
Sony's going to continue like incrementally finding a way to continue to sell people a $400 system because it's a price point that works, and it's obviously worked well for them this generation. So I would actually I expect Scorpio to be expensive, and what that thing is packing into it, I'm happy paying more money for this console. I don't care. I don't want to build the PC. If I can build a console that's the equivalent of about a $1,200 PC, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't want to build a PC. So.
Yeah, I'm over that too. I used to be hardcore. Literally hardcore building PCs, and I loved PC gaming. But then, I got married, and the space wasn't all mine, and all the money wasn't mine anymore. And I also got tabletop gaming.
That's how it happened.
And racing automobiles, which is amazing. And race tires, a set of race tires for a season is $1,200.
Yeah.
So if I can spend $1,200 and enjoy a whole season of racing on those tires, and then sacrifice PC gaming and get me a console that will get me 80% there, I'm good with that.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, Joe.
This just in real quick. This is totally different topic, but for anyone who is looking for it, I was looking on Twitter about that demo for Forza Horizon. I just sent you. Go check in the Twitter link and put it up on there. You can put it up on there. I sent you in a DM. It's engineer talking and saying that the thing will be up tomorrow, pretty much at 8 o'clock, because today their engineers were having problems putting it out.
Oh, okay. I see it.
So it is coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game will be released tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock. Okay. So, all right, good.
Thanks, Joe.
Broke it.
Yeah, no problem. At least it's tomorrow. This way HDK can also pop on for the first time, right?
Overwatch.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be home. All right. So, okay. Jason, and you actually told me you had written down some things, so the floor is yours, sir.
All right.
You're going to bust out the notepad.
Plus, I got it on this screen over here. I got computer here, so I'm good.
All right.
Anyways, love the price point. $399. I thought that was great.
Yep.
So no complaints there. If anybody wanting to buy a fairly decent console, $399 is a great price. Like, I'm not complaining. If I were to get a PS4, I would look at the Pro. Like, $100 difference is not that bad. So, really wish the Slim was cheaper. But
then again, actually, now that you mention that, like thinking about it, maybe that's why it isn't. Because if you're a new customer looking at these two consoles, it's like, well, for only $100 more, but if you're talking like $150 more, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, are you
Maybe
saying
that was part of the reasoning.
Are you saying they don't really want to sell the Slim?
Exactly.
I don't think they want to, unless you're a budget gamer that just wants to get into the PS4 ecosystem. You know, here you got a $299 version.
Right.
Actually,
but
$379 here in Canada,
right,
and it's actually cheaper than the Xbox Slim. So.
But then we get back to okay, so that makes sense. But here, here in U.S., that then brings me right back to you got the Xbox with better features for $299. So
yeah.
Well, like it's down to exclusives and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's personal choice.
Yes.
So if you want to play Uncharted 4, you're not going to buy an Xbox One S. It's not going to work.
Regardless of all of that, it does also allow them to produce at a less expensive rate than PS4. I mean,
absolutely.
If they don't build one and they pay less to make this.
Absolutely.
But but then you have two SKUs on the shelf. So two facings is always more expensive than just one. So
True. All right, so keep going.
Let's see, where am I? The better resolution for some game. People might like that. If you got a 4K TV, it'll do nothing for me. I got a 1080p TV, so I don't see any problems with that. Better resolution.
So is the graphic
frame rate?
Is the graphic fidelity not a thing for you?
No, it's not. It's not a thing for me.
Okay.
If the game plays good and I got a steady frame rate, and it's not jumping all over the place, I'm happy. So, let's see what else. HDR out of the box. So as soon as it's released, you got that. If you got your 4K fancy TVs, somebody can buy me one. If White is listening, hello.
Mike, give him the card.
I'll get the platinum card out.
Yeah, get the triple platinum.
The NLG bat card.
One thing that we were talking about earlier is the 1080p 60 streaming to YouTube. That is a great thing. I would use that feature myself if I had one. I just love streaming. That's fun. Let's see what else. Nice talking points. Upscales games to 4K. That's if you get a 4K TV. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care if it's checkerboarded, native. As long as the game plays good, I'm happy. I'm just one of those. I'm in it for the games, Something nobody has mentioned yet. It weighs a pound more than the original PS4, and I'm not happy with that. That's a whole extra pound. I don't want to be lugging that thing around, because I guess people lug these things around, Once you get from the store to here,
I wonder.
You got from the store to here, and then you got to put it in under the TV or wherever you have it on your entertainment system. You got to carry that 7 pounds, okay? Nobody ever should be carrying 7 pounds, okay?
So you're saying they should put a handle on it?
They should put a handle on it. But
to be honest,
somebody design it, put a handle on it.
What about
Right on the
propellers? Make
top.
it a drone,
Yeah,
fly it around.
there we go. Make it a drone.
I wonder.
7 pounds. What were they thinking? 7 pounds. Holy jeez.
Now it'll definitely be a razor. Now it'll definitely be a razor blade if it has a handle on it too.
But price per pound is a better deal though.
Things weigh more in Canada according to Super Cruiser.
I wonder.
What's going on here?
I wonder if it wobbles. You think anyone's tested that yet?
One thing, I'm not too fond of the look, but you know what? Once you put a game in it, you're not looking at the machine anyway.
Amen.
So there's the end of that conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
As you plop the game in it, you're looking at your TV. You're playing it in 4K or 1080p or whatever it is that. Who cares? I don't care.
Right.
Yeah, especially if you're digital, you don't look at it ever again.
If it's digital, you just press the power button. I don't like the power button and the reset button on that thing or whatever those buttons were. Or is it Egypt? I took a look at it. I looked those, okay? But once you hit the power button once, you're touching it again and turning the damn thing off.
You need to feed the squirrel that's running the wheel that you're in.
You're butting just a tad.
Just yeah.
Yeah.
Wally.
Wally.
I think. But
that was great.
That's great.
the resolution and the share play and the remote play.
Sorry.
Yeah. Still botting.
Yeah, still botting a little bit.
Your fault. Here, I'll just
He's a
try to turn
Cylon.
it.
All right. Oh, I got now. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna listen to Joe. I want to hear Joe.
back
I
and
want
listen
to
to
hear
Joe.
Joe. I want to hear Joe's take on this.
Well, okay. I guess the console is good if you want that, if you actually care about that kind of stuff. I've said the same thing about the S. If you care about that stuff, you can get it. If you have the money to spare, it's good for it. I don't really care about like those consoles particularly. I have not did my research on neither of the consoles because I really don't care for them. I was going to get a Gears one and I canceled my order on it because I'm like, I'm just going to get a Scorpio, forget it. So it doesn't matter to me at all. So I really haven't looked too much into them. I just really don't care for them, honestly.
All right. Easy enough. HDK?
Yeah, short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, I think it's a great console. I mean, especially like if you're already in the Sony ecosystem.
Yep.
It's worthy upgrade. If I would be very heavily vested in the Sony ecosystem, and I would have already pre-ordered that console.
I think that's where the battle is in the future, anyways. And I think that's actually one thing Sony, if Sony has any, massive advantage at this point, it's that they have a giant user base in their ecosystem. And like me, once you get in there and you've got your trophies and you've got your library that's, forwards or backwards compatible, vice versa.
Exactly.
I
mean,
it's just
they have like 40 million users, so have quite a big pool to pull from.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Although I must say it's been 40 million for quite some months, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but I don't really care how many numbers they sold or not, but just a funny thing.
I mean, people wild out about sales on Twitter, and it's I waste time at work to just gab or whatever. But honestly, what anybody ever gained from the console selling X amount or X amount, there's just no truth to it.
No, and both consoles are selling pretty damn well, so.
Yeah.
Everybody should be happy, and
well, and I.
Hopefully that.
God, I hate this is why social media just really can grate you sometimes. Of course, we try to stay above board because when you look at the reaction to this console on social media from the more extreme sides, and both of them. On one side, you had the people that were, going off about non-native 4K, Sony lied, which is BS. On the other side, oh my God, Xbox One is dead. This is, blah blah. Well, I hate to tell you, but yes, while the PS Pro, obviously being a new thing that a lot of people want, is charting number one, so did the S, and the S had a 110% increase on Amazon right after the conference. That was shown, and I went and I looked at it myself, and sure enough, it was.
Wasn't you buying all those Xboxes?
It was right. Yes.
Pallet after pallet.
It was me and Drake.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I mean, the idea that this was some sort of crappy console that Sony put out is a bunch of BS, and the idea that the Xbox is now dead and buried because of this is also a bunch of BS. It doesn't move the needle one way or another in any significant way. It honestly doesn't. What it does is it gives people new consoles to move into. So I just wanted to point that out. Peter, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, no. That's
yes,
so,
he did.
so
He
cool.
did.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll cry after the podcast. That's okay. But going back to the Slim, I mean, the price. I mean, at least what I said is either discounted or bundles. It gives some great flexibility, especially for the holidays. So that might be, a good way to get people into the Sony ecosystem, or the PlayStation ecosystem, I should say. And but yeah, if I will be, I mean, the Pro looks like a very cool machine. Not sure I would buy a PlayStation because what we already said, like the older you get, the less time you have, or the more responsibilities you get, the less time you have to game. So I'm not sure it's all right, Drake. So not sure. It's not going to be a day one for me unless I get the spousal blessing saying like, "Hey, look, honey." Then it's like, oh yeah, why not? I love gadgets. I love new toys, but.
Nice.
Otherwise, I will just wait some and since I'm in the Xbox ecosystem, the promise of Scorpio looks very promising to me. So it's probably the system I would look at first, or at least till that time, and maybe reevaluate. But
it's all about where your friends are at. Honestly,
Well, there is that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
it's
probably,
it's all about where your friends are at. If you don't have like how you have friends on Xbox and I have friends on Xbox. I don't have any on PlayStation. I have a PlayStation account, Western Drake 20 on there, but I don't have friends that play it. So
yeah, you never friended me, Drake.
I'm not gonna play
Yeah,
it.
he doesn't want to be friends with anybody. He wants to do it all alone.
Oh man.
Well, Frankie and I have friends on both, and Frankie and I mean, we game kind of consistently on both. And that's something that it does take time. I will no doubt, because whenever I go over to PS4, that is time away that I don't get to play with you guys. So I have to manage that out, and that is definitely, I can understand that from that perspective. However, I have always said, if there's a game on a system that you want and you want it that badly, you'll go get the system.
Yep.
You will.
Like
you
Gears
will
of
get
War.
the system.
Like
Right.
Gears of War for me. That's
Right.
the only reason. That's the only reason why I own an Xbox. Like, that's the only reason why I got an Xbox was because of Gears of War. Like, I like it so much. And then as I started playing it more, I met people. I started, liking the people that I was hanging around. And then I started falling in love with Forza and then Halo and such over time as they progress. But Gears of War is the only reason really why I am on the Xbox.
No doubt. No doubt. But and it works both ways. Like I said, I've got a lot of friends on PlayStation as well, and it's a balancing act that you gotta run. But at the same time, if you want the system, you get the system. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I know it sounds hokey and cliche, but it really does work that way. If you want Uncharted, you get a PlayStation. If you want Gears of War, you get an Xbox. If you don't get the systems, you didn't want the game as bad as you say you did or think you did.
If I might, real quick, people, obviously I'm an Xbox guy. People ask me, why did you get an Xbone? Why would you not get the more powerful one or this or that? And the truth is, I saw how the 360 evolved over its lifetime, and that gave me faith that the Xbox One would also evolve and improve. I wanted to see where it would go.
Yeah.
And also, they had me at Forza, to be honest. I'm
No.
maybe the biggest Forza nut that you know.
You are definitely.
We'll have to play that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm closing in on. My wife needed a new laptop, and I managed to get one that can just barely run the Forza Apex, so I can get those reward points because I'm ADD about having that page full. I'm like 80 points shy of having every Forza reward point from Forza 2.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
And I would, just to give you another plug.
Dinner's ready.
Yep. If you have not seen Crazy Juan's really, really good Forza 6 NASCAR expansion walkthrough, just when you're done here, click on the original Next Level Gaming, get down to the list of videos, and if you scroll down to where the compilations are, you may have to scroll over a little bit because we have added some compilations since, but you will find a 20-video NASCAR expansion pack that is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, because you don't use any assists. and that was incredible. So
and he's a clean racer too.
Don't stroke his ego more than he already has a big one right now. Come on.
Nah, I'm nobody. I'm really not anybody. But no, that's one thing about Forza is I get a lot of replay value out of it or a lot of time on it because I just can't allow myself to bash my way. I mean, you could run through a Forza game in probably half the time I do if you don't care about hitting things.
yeah.
Just can't do it.
Oh, you would hate me because I'm taking you off the road, buddy.
Oh God!
man.
Yeah, do not play racing games with Drake.
Yeah, you're going
hits
off the
everybody.
road. You're going off the
into
road.
a tree.
It's
Unless
just
you want to
that-
play bumper cars.
that's just how it is. You're going off the road. That's
I wanna-
the bottom line.
On the chat real quick, our buddy Jabril there talking about Horizon over boring sport. You know, that's what I like of one. I mean, I love that about Forza is that you have both options. Horizon's a great arcade racer with a touch of the Forza physics, so it's not lame in that driving sense. Because I'm a driver, I love driving. I've raced my car on a grassroots level. I love the art of racing and driving. So for me, the motorsport is still kind of king because I could spend hours just chasing a lap, just trying to get that next couple tenths of a second off of it or chasing a leaderboard time. You know, it's not for everyone, so I'm glad there is Forza Horizon, and those are great games too. But I just wanted to. There's a place for sim racing.
There is.
Yeah, no, that's. I agree with you 100%. I'm more on the Horizon side because, like, I like how Horizon has you roaming around a map, not just sitting in one area, and the load screens are overly long. Like, that's just how it feels for me. Like, the load screens take freaking 3 minutes. It seems like, not literally, but it's just ridiculous for one track. And then I like the driving around, roaming everywhere. You have one load screen, then you're good after that.
I'm really hoping that in Forza Horizon 3, they get back to kind of a more narrative structure because the first one had that great, you're the newcomer progressing through the ranks to take over as a frozen champion. And the second one, they really kind of just said, okay, you're the guy, go.
Yeah, I agree with that. The second one though, definitely. I played the first one when it came out for free with gold.
Mm-hmm.
The first one has crappy car mechanics. It's so bad compared to the second one. It's so bad compared to the second. After playing that one, I was like, wow, the second one feels amazing.
Well, and I like motorsport. I'm on the Horizon side as well. There's something about the free roaming and stuff. The motorsport's nice. I don't find myself playing it as much as I play Horizon. But you know, to each his own too.
It's no dig to say this. I'm not saying filthy casuals or non-drivers, but it's definitely geared more for the masses than
Absolutely.
a circuit racer.
No, absolutely.
It's much more accessible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, so
So what's your take on the PS4 Pro, Mike?
all right.
Yes, lay it on us, Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf.
Awesome.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right.
Papa Smurf. All right, so I still do not like this idea of iterative consoles 3 years into a generation. Sorry, I just don't. Same thing with Scorpio. This thing where we're upgrading consoles less than 5 years into a generation still bothers me. And I still contend that the PS4 Pro, and even more so the Scorpio, are Sony and Microsoft's way of saying, we're sorry we didn't deliver upon our original promises to you. So buy these new consoles. Because now these are the consoles that we can do what we wanted to sell you in 2013. That said, I agree with everybody that the price point of this thing is great. I mean, if you think about it, this was the original price point of the PS4 in 2013. Everybody that was saying that this was a $499, $459 console, $459 would probably have even been okay, but $399, that's a great price point. And now here's where, to me, the Neo. Now I gotta start. It's crazy because we called it the Neo for so long that I've got to start training myself to call it the Pro. There's where the Pro does stack up against Microsoft trying to sell the Xbox One S. And this was something that Yeah, I totally get it. Microsoft had a ton of bravado after that meeting, and you saw it. And Microsoft fans had a ton of bravado because of the 4K Blu-ray player. And while I didn't think that was a big deal on Wednesday, I am going to continue to disagree with Jabril and Enrique and those guys that say it's not a big deal. I think it's a bigger deal than people think, because whether or not the UHD player is as good a quality as a Samsung or one of those others, those Samsung players are still more expensive. It's still an entry level. It's what the PS3 was sold on and the PS2 was sold on. It wasn't just the PS3 that was sold on Blu-ray. The PS2 was sold as being a DVD player too. Yes, DVD became mass market quick. Blu-ray took a while because it had a format war to fight. And the reason that Blu-ray won that format war was because of the PS3. Without the PS3, HD DVD might be our standard right now.
Well,
and
didn't also that other big influencer of media have a thing to do with that? Didn't the Prawn adopt that?
No, Prawn adopted HD DVD.
I guess I was out of the Prawn loop then.
Yeah, they adopted HD DVD. And at the time, Paramount and Warner Brothers were HD DVD. So it was basically them against Disney and Fox, and so what broke the form, and who else?
Sony.
And Sony, of course, right, because they co-founded the Blu-ray Association. So what they won that format war on was the back of the PS3, and everybody, I mean, that's common knowledge, but it was also a game console. So you got the best of both worlds. This is one thing that the Xbox One S gets to crow about. They just do. It is still, the PS Pro being a streaming video console, like it or not, this country at least still is not ready for mass 4K streaming. Netflix is going to do it, and YouTube will do it. But Frankie just said earlier he's got a bandwidth cap, which means not only does he have to deal with that, if you want to be a digital game player, then you have to deal with that as well. Not everybody. Go ahead.
Now remember also the whole feud between who was it, Level 2 and Netflix, and who's passing, or Comcast, and who's passing on the fees.
True. That is true.
With 4K, there's more traffic, so there's definitely going to be more, fee fights, etc., and prices will increase.
Yeah, and so that's an issue. And the fact of the matter is that the difference between, to me, and I wanted to say this on Tuesday, and Wednesday on Basement Radio, and I couldn't quite formulate it the way I wanted to. Gamers wanted physical discs so bad for games, right? Which is why we're in the position we're in with the Xbox One and not being a digital console. But somehow we want digital movies. And I don't understand it, because not only are movies better bitrate, better quality on disc, if you download them, you're stuck on that player. If I have my friend has a 4K Blu-ray player at his house, I can't really, what am I going to do, take my whole console over there to watch a movie? No, I take the movie over there. That's what,
Damn 7-pound console, gonna bring it with you everywhere. Jesus.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm sort of getting at, is that digital movies aren't there yet as far as a mass adoption. Yes, physical sales are down and streaming is up, but it's still not mass yet. Not to mention, when we were in 2013, the big argument against digital for games was that, well, not everybody has great internet. So how is it that we don't have great internet for downloading games, but all of a sudden we have awesome internet for 4K streaming? And so that's my problem. And it didn't seem to me that it was that big of an issue then, but the more I think about it, the more I think that in the long run, that's a mistake. And they're not doing anything to push adoption of their own format at this point, and that's really weird to me.
I agree with you, Mike. Because also, like, you have your 4K Sony TVs, and so you pick out your PlayStation, and it doesn't have 4K, and it's like, what happened down there? It's almost like they're not confident in their own format.
I don't know what happened.
I think part of it, if I might, I think part of it is the argument that I always hear is a gamer doesn't care. A gamer just wants to game, and I think that it may be part of Sony's attempt to, say we're still the focused manufacturer. We're still the one who is most focused on the gamer, so we're going to give you this console at this price because we're going to leave off the stuff gamers don't care about.
And they say, and they claim very much so that they have market research that says this, I'm reading the chat room, and Jabril and Nelsconi make the points that physical sales have been falling, and Sony doesn't even have their own UHD player out yet.
Right.
But that still doesn't still reconcile the whole reason for having physical movies. Every big movie release that I want, I don't download because I can only download it in one spot. I don't have downloadable places everywhere. So if I want to watch a movie, I pull it off the shelf. I still have it. I'll turn my camera around real quick.
Oh, don't worry. I've got a big stack of movies too.
I still have a sizable movie collection, and
mine's growing all the time too.
Yeah, and there are my Blu-rays over there. I mean, I still buy Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, they're such a nice.
Don't forget the baby monitor that I see back there.
Oh yeah, which don't need anymore because Spencer actually is 2 now, so that's just been sitting there
collecting dust.
There are no other babies in this house.
My daughter again still uses it.
It's there so your wife can hear you. Oh, he's throwing a fit down there.
Right.
Gotta go down and see him.
But I mean,
I don't remember the last disc I bought. For any music.
The other day I bought the whole Blu-ray package with all the James Bond movies in there.
That's the thing for me.
Amazon.
I can't go and like movies to me. The high quality version of movies to me, like the version that I get excited about, is the Blu-ray versions of movies. Like I don't get pumped about, yeah, I got the new movie, I just downloaded it. Oh yeah, like I get excited. I get excited when I go to the store and I'm like, man, this looks pretty cool. Like this actually looks pretty cool. The artwork and like the little pictures that they put on the back kind of give me a good idea of what the movie's about. I think I'll purchase this, and I can get a good idea from there. And then I also can just take it home. It has a little sleeve over it. You pull it off. You feel like you got something special because you got the version that has the 4K Blu-ray and the 3D and the regular DVD and the iTunes code to it. And you get a better deal for that than you do for purchasing it digitally because, like I said, you get it on iTunes. Like you get it on numerous platforms like that you can actually have it on. It's awesome.
That's what I do. I get the Blu-ray with the DVD and the digital code, so I can watch it anywhere in my house.
So it just seems like a better deal.
I'm gonna answer Jabril's
You get the nice old ones that have these little books built into them. I love these.
Yeah. But I'm gonna answer Jabril's question.
Is that Ghostbusters?
Sure is.
So Jabril says, if you aren't seeing the sales of UHD, why implement it in a console which would effectively push the cost up? Because like Blu-ray and like DVD, in my opinion, the format is still in its infancy. So you're not going to see the big sales yet because you don't have enough players on the market. That was the whole point of the PS3.
Still what? Still for 4K Blu-rays?
Yeah.
Discs?
Yeah.
You see him on sale all the time. I mean,
no. He's not seeing the. He's saying that they're not seeing the volume of sales.
I get sales every day. Subscribe to Fries.com.
So, no, not
He's saying they're not producing a lot of them,
right?
Because
they're not selling overall, is what he's saying.
Yeah, it's still not like the standard. It's still in very early infancy. Remember, like when DVD started, you still have VHS, but you had those couple of DVDs that pop up here and there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
When I look at a DVD compared to a Blu-ray, I think, man, I'd buy that if I was poor. Like if I look at Blu-ray, I'm like, yeah, this is higher quality stuff. This means I've made it. Like if you go buy a DVD, that means you're either one cheap mofo or you really just you just broke. You're broke as a joke. Like it's either one of the two, in my opinion.
So I don't know. That's the more I thought about it, the more it if I was going to, because I still collect movies. I still buy big movies on disc. There is no chance that I'm going to have Star Wars digitally, because I can't move it from device to device like I could a disc.
Oh, I love my Star Wars DVDs.
You should make a video.
We buy because I've got kids. We buy the Marvel movies. Now I won't.
Oh, you watch them too. You stop it.
Of course I do. I'm not saying I don't, but because I have kids, they watch Captain America and they watch that like my son will watch Captain America 6 times in a row.
Nice.
And so my point is that I can't move those digitally from place to place, and I don't want to have to stream it every time my kids want to watch it. I want to take the disc up and put it in a player.
Mike,
you
should make a video on that, about this is how you move one and the other.
Oh man, that'd be great.
So anyway, I think that's a tactical error. I do. And I think that does not, it was a cost-cutting move, of course, but I don't think it's the right move. I didn't think it was as big a deal then, but I think the more I think about it, the more it would, if right now I wanted to buy a 4K Blu-ray player, I'd probably go ahead and get an Xbox One S, and then take the Xbox One I have here and move it upstairs. It wouldn't entice me to get a PS Pro, whereas here's the issue. Okay, so let me get to the last part of why I'm not going to upgrade, even though I think it's a fine product. I think there's a lot of people excited for it, and I myself would never tell somebody not to get it. I'm not into that. That's not my thing. I don't think they're lying about the product. I think that one thing that Xbox fans, the extreme Xbox fans, are not understanding is while Microsoft checked off all those great boxes, right after the conference, they forgot one small thing. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, to me, and I don't care what anybody says, to me, you can disagree, but I'm not gonna have this fight with you. I can't tell a tangible difference between my PS4 and my Xbox One games. Sorry, I can't. You can't. I can't.
Objections going up.
You're not getting close enough. You're not getting close enough to your TV.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Closer.
Right, I'm not getting
those
right.
pixels.
Right, I'm not getting up to my TV with an oscilloscope.
Yeah, and also comparing still images, that doesn't do you any good anyways. Because when are you, you're not viewing still images.
Who cares if the grass is greener or there's a couple more?
But my point is
180 more pixels. 180 more. You're missing out.
Oh.
Wow. That's great.
But my point, though, is the PS4 and the Xbox One on their face, to me, has no tangible difference. They don't. And I enjoy them both. I enjoy them both equally. I find beautiful games on both. Absolutely. And you can take your resolution war and you can shove it up your ass. That's how I feel about it.
Buy whatever console has the games you want to play, and if your friends are there, even better.
However, and this is what some people are not getting. I saw those 4K videos of the pro games, and then they showed some videos of what the games look like when you're not on 4K, when you're on 1080p. There is a tangible difference. And that's what Sony, if they're smart, are really going to push this holiday season. Because Microsoft can certainly push the 4K Blu-ray player. Whether or not any of us agree or disagree that it's the right move, Microsoft has that card they can put down on the table. But Sony's card can be, that's all fine and dandy, but my 1 terabyte console, which is the same price as your 1 terabyte console, now looks even more graphically impressive than your console. And that is an absolute truth that you cannot get around.
Yep.
The reason they put that giant GPU in there that shoots up to 4.2 teraflops, whatever the hell a teraflop is, the whole point of that was to add graphical fidelity to the game. And while many of us wish that they went in the direction of gameplay and AI and things like that, as I said last week, that ship has sailed. We are into graphics and look more than we are into gameplay.
You can
and
see
that
that
is,
in Titanfall too.
that is the new. Yep, that is the new. That's the new hotness. Old and busted, gameplay and AI. New hotness, teraflops and Ps and graphics.
And K's, man.
And
K's,
Ks.
though.
That's just where we're at.
I
So,
have a question.
HDRs.
yes.
I don't know if any of you know this, but UHD movies, are they a different type of disc? Because from my understanding, I've read several different things, and like everything conflicts, and some say your standard Blu-ray can support UHD 4K files on it. Others say it's a new disc. If it's not a new disc,
Don't they have
John-
more layers?
that's what I'm not sure about. Like I
think
don't.
they also have more layers.
I haven't done like extensive research on UHD discs. I don't know if they offer more storage, then it would.
Yes, I believe
Why
they
the
do.
hell wouldn't you put that in your system that is going to be like actually pushing out games to take advantage of bigger files and better video? Like you would want a bigger disc to hold all that data.
Oh yeah.
So if UHD discs actually have more storage on them, why the hell wouldn't you put that thing in your console?
Oh no.
No idea.
But
Well-
again, like I don't know if it's a new disc or anything. Like John, I know from the Super Deformed Gamescast suggested they could firmware update the drive to read UHD discs.
I don't
No.
believe it can.
I don't think,
it's
it can.
just a
There's something
different
with that
laser
laser.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't muck with a laser like that. I don't think so.
I
So
think
anyway,
To answer that question though about why not use that storage disk, I think it just comes down to that in this generation of games anyway, you put your disk in and it downloads your game, so it doesn't really matter.
right.
It's true as well.
And they did that because Blu-ray has a very poor read rate as for gaming, and PS3 found that out last gen. So that was something that both of them did. Let me be clear. The Blu-ray player issue that I have is minor. I think it's a mistake. I didn't think it was before. I think it is now. But that doesn't negate the fact that this is a good console at a good price.
Oh
That's
yeah.
going to be successful.
It will be.
Yeah, it's.
And I don't want people to. And again, I would never tell somebody, well, don't buy it because it doesn't have a Blu-ray. If that's not your thing, then buy it. I'm not in the position to tell somebody that it sucks and you shouldn't buy it.
Or have
This
to
is
spend the
strictly
money.
my opinion. Strictly my
it's just-
opinion.
It's just bizarre. Like you're out there talking about your 4K system, and it's just a really strange omission. That's the only reason people are talking about it, is because it's a really weird omission.
It is. It is. You're hyping 4K, and you don't have the base 4K playback in it. I mean, I agree.
I honestly think if they hadn't mentioned the YouTube and Netflix thing, I wonder if people would even be like really asking about that. Like if they themselves have been like, oh yeah, well for video we got Netflix and YouTube. Like if they hadn't even bothered mentioning that, like would people really be like going back and examining the drive now? Like I still want to know what the hell this thing's doing for VR.
Microsoft
Like, that
would
was
have, I think Microsoft would still have made a deal about it.
Yeah, because they have it, and Xbox Extremist fans would too.
Yeah, that was going to happen regardless. That made boy Twitter was fun.
I turned Twitter off that day.
smart.
So the only other reason that I'm not getting one out of the gate is because again, like my Xbox One, I'm extremely happy with my PS4 as it sits. I don't need 5 extra blades of grass or a little bit of extra lighting to make my experience good. When I play Horizon Zero Dawn, it's going to be a phenomenal game, regardless of whether or not her hair flies in the wind a little bit nicer.
Huh.
I can
you're
see
just ruining your experience right there.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I can see it for frame rate things, but not all of the games are going to have that.
I'll be right back.
And every game will vary, and that's, so
I just wish they improved on the frame rate for every game. That would have been nicer.
right, or lock it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Somebody's not happy.
Aw. Somebody must. All right. Oh no, somebody got hurt. All right, hold on. I'm gonna let Peter handle that. So, and when he comes back, hopefully he doesn't realize I muted him when he comes back.
They'll try to talk.
What
but
you
it's
really
just
talking
movement
about
such a
and
night.
I'll wait till when I see wait till you see the whites of his eyes, and then I'll turn him back on.
Super Cooper in chat is saying, "Stop crying, Drake."
Oh man, Super Cooper, this guy.
I will say this. I will say that if I find one, that there's a slice of me that does want to have it for NLG, for Next Level Gaming, because
Triple platinum MasterCard. That's your answer.
Yeah. Wife. Couch.
That's why you invest in a comfortable couch. That's what I did.
Look, if there is a reasonable trade-in program, somebody's got a reasonable trade-in program, and then I can trade in some old games and come close, I'll bite on it because of the channel. I'll do it to cover
for the good of the nation.
For the good of the nation. I'll do it for America.
Stinger wants a new TV.
No.
Too.
Right. I still need someone to come and set mine on fire so I can replace that. But I mean, in all seriousness,
Isn't HDK close?
on its face, I have no reason to upgrade because the PS4, like the Xbox One, does a lot for me already, and I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it.
And you just got it.
And I just got it. I mean, look, Uncharted 4 looked phenomenal. Let me do that again. Phenomenal. It looked unbelievable. So I don't need, like I said, I don't need Drake to have 4 extra wrinkles on his face because of the higher
You might
GPU.
start looking like you, have a few more wrinkles, get a little bit older. You could relate to him a little more.
Farts dust, and whatnot. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jabril says, I
throw
sleep
that
on
in
the
there.
couch and don't even have a wife. It won't be punishment for me in the future. I mean, look, if I can find a good trade-in, then I will trade it in, and I'll do it for NLG. But
You can always trade in that Dreamcast.
no one's touching my Dreamcast. No one is touching my Dreamcast.
I bought
Stinger
a PlayStation.
NLG has
Yeah,
blocked
Bob Ross.
Huh.
Hang on,
Bob
Peter's
Ross
back.
in there selling you.
Hang on, Peter. Let me unmute you. Hang on. Hold on. It's not letting me. Hang on. Wait.
He's laughing about it
It's
too.
literally not letting me do it. What the hell?
It wouldn't let me add my video back in. either.
Leave and come back, HT.
No. Try to unmute yourself, Peter. There you go.
There he goes.
All right.
Good? Okay.
Yeah. Everything all right?
Yeah, my daughter fell out of bed.
Aw.
Oh.
It happens. You got kids,
Yeah.
it happens.
Kids are invincible.
Tell her to rub some spit on it.
Rub some dirt
Tell
on
her
it.
to walk it off.
On it.
Walk it off.
Get off.
Need some tussin. Rub it. All right. So, those are my thoughts on the Neo. Damn it! The Pro.
The Pro. PS Pro.
I am not.
Sold to
I
you
don't
by
think
Bob Ross.
I don't think it's a bad.
We
It
got
is
a nice
not.
console over here.
I
That
was.
was Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
If I had not bought the, I didn't. What? I didn't mute him. It
Yes,
says,
you
muted
did.
myself.
okay. It says you muted Peter. No, I didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't.
that's what came up on
Right
mine
here.
too.
if I had not bought that for Uncharted 4, if I was still holding out, the Neo, God damn it,
Just say Neo.
Pro.
Just
The
embrace
Pro.
it. Just embrace it. Embrace
the
it.
Pro.
The Pro.
The Pro is what I would get. Honestly, that's the one I would get. It makes sense. It
Let the fro flow through you.
The Prio.
the Prio.
Yeah.
It is. It's the one I would get. It makes natural sense. That's why the Slim is such a ridiculous product to put out at $299. I wouldn't even flinch at getting the Pro over the Slim. I would immediately get the Pro because I'm gonna get a better quality console.
Another $50, it would definitely make a big difference. I would definitely look at the Slim then.
Yeah.
And it weighs less.
Like
Another-
I said, the only thing that was
Yeah,
going
and
to
that's
sell me
heavy.
on the only thing that was going to sell me on the Slim was if I ended up. You guys are talking about the Xbox, right?
No.
The-
No,
okay.
PS.
Getting the Neo
PS.
versus the PS4.
Okay. Because I was going to say the only thing that would have got me to buy an Xbox Slim is if I would have got the Gears version of it. I don't
Yeah,
really-
well, why aren't you? Do it.
Money wise, because I'll tell you after the podcast what's going on.
Okay.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair. I understand that because that's where I was too for a minute.
I'm not upgrading until I have a move coming up, and I've got a plan for a game room in there, and I have
Yeah.
that will get a new TV, and after the new TV comes the Scorpio. It'll be I'll do it in that order so I have the right TV for it. But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be. What do I have lined up for it? I have the 2600, the Genesis, the Saturn, the Dreamcast, the NES, the SNES, the 64, the GameCube, the PS1, the Xboxes, and the Wii.
Well, I was gonna say let's be friends, but then I heard that you had anything with Sega related, and I was like, nah, no more.
Dude, you gotta play Road Rash. If you've never played Road Rash 1 and 2,
Oh my God! Yes.
you've done it wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last podcast that Drake is on.
Oh, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So, anyway,
Bye,
so that's
Drakey.
my take on the Pro. Great. I laughed when I laughed at Twitter all day long. I laughed at both sides. I laughed at the side that said the Xbox was done, and I laughed at the side that couldn't get. It was like they completely forgot the fact that the GPU in the Pro is up here, where the original PS4 is down here. So of course you're going to get greater fidelity, and it's going to look better. I mean, again, there's going to be a tangible difference. I can see a tangible difference.
That's the thing a lot of people don't understand is when I see like the console war going on, I start laughing at these idiots on Twitter, man, because the thing that's funny about it is if one console dies, then the other one is going to die too, because the fact is they are going to come up with some ridiculous. It's going to be like Hitler. If one dies, the other one is like, he's a dictator immediately, and he can rule over everyone else, and he can create whatever rules he wants because there's no competition. That's the thing. So that, like, oh,
Was that a toilet flushing?
Someone flushed their toilet.
Sorry, it's in my background. I did not go to the bathroom.
All right.
I couldn't see.
Joe
Because
in the bathroom again.
Joe and his flows.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that was the take on the Pro, and I have no issue with it I honestly don't. I don't have an issue with it.
Flush.
If you want to buy it, that's wonderful. That's I'm not, again, it's like PSVR. It's not up to me to tell you to get it or not get it. You have to make that call. But I saw good things, and I saw the good and bad in this system.
On the ugly.
And that's our job is to hit this thing objectively, is to talk about it. And I thought the fact that everybody could find some good stuff about this Pro says that Sony's not exactly making a giant mistake with this. Whether or not we think it's the Blu-ray player or whatnot, or the Slim. This is a pretty good move for Sony. I think everybody understands that.
Affordability, also.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. Like, I'm not a big PlayStation guy, but I can admit right there, they're pretty good when it comes down to being like, hey, this is what people will buy it at. They really are good at that.
Yeah, it's price to sell.
Yep, exactly. Yep. They're really, really, really good at that, and I give them really big props for that.
They are also master marketing people.
Yeah.
I mean, their marketing is going to be great leading into the holiday season. You know it is.
Yeah. For the price of the machine you're getting, it's worth it. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't get it, if that's the system you want.
Yeah, no, exactly. Don't listen to what other people say. Just if you want a PlayStation, get a PlayStation. Doesn't matter whether it comes with X and Y feature. It comes with the PlayStation exclusives, and if you don't have a PlayStation already, that's a good console to get. I mean, you definitely should, look into it, and especially with the 4K and stuff like that. If you have
Frankie,
a 4K
are you
TV.
relaxing?
Yep.
I am. I love this chair, man.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I was going to do it after the because I do want to get to the Xbox demo because we are getting on 11 o'clock. But Jabril asked, what do you guys think of the mod debacle? So for those that don't
for Fallout.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Bethesda, announced at E3 when they released Fallout 4 that they were working on mod support. Xbox One would get mod support first, PlayStation 4 would be after. So Xbox One got mods, and then they had been working on getting the PlayStation mods up and running. And they kept kind of pushing it back. Pete Hines had been kind of giving some cryptic messages about it, and finally on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, it was either Thursday or Friday morning, Bethesda put out a post on their official forums that said Sony would not allow them to do mods the way that they need to be done, and therefore they would not be coming for PS4 on either Fallout 4 or Skyrim Remastered. They still want to try to figure out a way to get it done, but it doesn't. I mean, that doesn't sound like it's going to happen. I think that was just them trying to be nice. But for all intents and purposes, the idea of mods on the PS4 right now for at least those two games are done, I think. So I kind of gonna bow out of this conversation only because I don't care about mods anymore. When I was playing PC games, and I would mod Duke Nukem and Doom for The Simpsons and all that stuff because it was
Star
cool.
Siege Tribes.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I don't do that stuff anymore, so I have no dog in this fight as far as how I feel about it. So I'll leave it to you guys whether or not this is even a big deal.
Ooh.
I know one person it's a big deal for,
Ooh.
legitimately, Anchorman from Tick, and it's a big deal for him because he's heavy into mods and he loves his mods. So when he was upset about it, I mean that was legit, totally legit. Cardinals 21, Patriots 20, sweet. All right, so sorry. Anyway, sorry. Thank you, Jabril. I appreciate it. Anyway, so I'll let you guys, if anybody has an opinion on this. I honestly don't. I sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah, me neither. I don't really, mod my games. I have Fallout. I still have to play it. So. But
I don't even have
other
Fallout
games,
4.
I never really modded anyways.
I like to play it the way the developer made it. That's all I can say. I like to play the vision that they made. I don't like to mess with it or, play around with it and create it my image. I look at games as a movie, but you get to pilot them. That's all it is. It's the only difference. So for me, I'm not interested in those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I got Fallout 4 myself, and I've never used any of the mods, so it doesn't interest me, so I'm going to have to bow out of this conversation as well.
Is this a big... Well, let me ask it in this way. I have seen many people, and I have seen PlayStation owners as well. This isn't just something to bash, to bash over Sony's head from Xbox side. I've seen PlayStation owners do it too, that they're kind of upset about this. Is this a big deal for Sony?
For some people, it's a big deal. You know, like if you bought a PlayStation 4 and Fallout 4 for the fact of being able to use the mods or whatever, and all of a sudden that's just ripped out of your hand at the last second, yeah, I'd be pissed too.
But even like on Xbox, you cannot use all the mods, right? I mean, they're limited by, you know.
They're limited, but there's still
it's like developer-approved ones or something.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit.
I thought there were user mods. I
think they're user mods, but I think they're limited in size.
Yeah, file size. Yeah.
Yes, which I thought they were working on. Anchorman, honestly, I wish Anchorman was here because he would be the best conversation to have him as part of. So maybe we'll ask him and get back to it.
Is he online right
now? I think it was like memory size and stuff.
I think the people who bought Fallout because they're massive Fallout fans, like they buy Fallout and that's basically the game they're going to buy until the next Elder Scrolls. Those are the people I could see being really upset about this. But I think like gamers like us who, you know, we have broad, you know, interest in gaming. We play more than Fallout. So for me, like I even at our site, Brent, he's a huge Fallout fan, and you know, he's like, yeah, you know, mods they look cool on the screen, but every time I boot it up, I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, well, I should get back to the game I'm playing. So, I don't know. I think it was actually John as well. He posted something that this is actually the main reason behind this. Apparently, is because Sony wants Bethesda to QA them, and Bethesda doesn't want to.
I wouldn't.
Their game barely works as it is, so they don't want all these mods crashing the system. Oh, it's true. You know it's true.
Come on.
Look, their solution for fixing Far Harbor on there was to take the fog out.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to fix
that's
it.
The
so
main
we're like, well,
part.
that's the main part of that DLC. And they're like, well, we'll just take the fog out. That's not a fucking fix. What are you doing? So, like, honestly, I wouldn't put that reason past Bethesda for just not wanting to have to actually make sure these mods aren't going to crash your system. Supposedly, there's some that cause Xbox crashes. I don't play Fallout, so I don't know. But
I think anytime you get into mods, you can have that, though. I don't think that's a big thing. And I swear, I know that Bethesda has like a review process on it. I know that you can submit complaints to Bethesda about certain mods, like if your mod were to be stolen, because that's happened. Things like that. I think it's not a big deal to people who primarily game on console because we've never had them. It's the
That's
PC
the
guys.
thing, right?
yeah, exactly.
You know, it's the PC guys, like old guys like me, who you know, I modded. I used to be a rotten cheater. I modded Star Siege Tribes with a grass skin for my sniper because I could stand on a hillside, not skyline, and be basically invisible till I shot. You know, and that's just it's having the freedom is nice, and I think consoles need to go that way too. My thing about whether this is a big deal or not comes down to and this is not necessarily to bash Sony. I think it's just their style. They make more decisions or make choices for players more than Microsoft does, in my opinion. You know, they chose not to have EA access. They choose not to have mods. They make these choices and take options away. But that's just my.
Yeah, and so that I agree with. I they get a lot of flack for not having EA access because it was their call, and so to that I understand. And to Jason's point, if you were buying Fallout 4 on the PS4 specifically because they were told you were getting mods, and now you're not, that I can understand. So,
I think, and at what point does refund become a thing? I know it's been out a long time, but if you bought it on their platform and not another platform because they had promised a feature and it's not there, I think there's a case for it.
Well, if you could call it the No Man's Sky effect. I mean, I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm saying that in all seriousness. I mean, look at the situation with that, and yeah, you could. Now, could you prove that? That's the key. Can you tangibly prove that?
No Man's Sky, huh? The Marvin the Martian shooter?
Yes.
I was playing that earlier, actually.
Hold on. He's been waiting to break out his Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
Indubitably, you rabbit.
You do that well. I get it. I just wonder if you could prove it.
Prove it. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, and how much is mods? What's part of the total game? I don't know.
That's the thing, right? How many people are actually buying it for that?
Guys.
And what is it worth to the game? Is it worth $1 of the full price, or what? It could be just a free add-on, they could say.
Guys,
so it's like you're not losing anything.
Is it just me, or do you guys see Zach Galifianakis sitting back in a chair right now too?
I saw it the last time.
Playing No Man's Sky, maybe.
He's buried in the chat room.
I wish I could see the freaking chat.
Oh, I'm sorry that we couldn't be that much more in depth, man of leisure. It's just, could it be a debacle for Sony?
I don't think so.
But it does. I don't think it's not. Nobody's returning their PS4s, and you're not seeing a mass.
Are you sure? Go down to GameStop and just sit there and watch.
Yeah.
If you see somebody carrying a PS4, ask them first, how much does it weigh, and are you returning it?
Right. Are you returning it because Fallout 4 didn't have mods?
Why did you buy?
Of course, sir.
Why did you buy a razor blade? Oh man.
I don't know.
Matsu with a mod.
Yeah, I just don't think it's. I don't think it's.
Then you just get the zoo.
Just the zoo.
Yeah, I don't think it's the. I think EA Access not being on the PlayStation 4 is a much bigger deal than mods.
Yeah.
Being on
I agree.
I agree with that one.
I think that's much bigger issue.
Mods aren't even that big of a deal. I don't think that a lot of freaking people care for mods, honestly, on a console. I think it's nice to have, but it's nothing to be like, oh yeah, Microsoft has the advantage over Sony because they have mods. What, on 2 freaking games? Okay, right. How many games are there out there that you can just play? You don't need mods. They're not mandatory. Console gamers have went years without them.
It's true, but having the option is always better than not having the option.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. But even at that though, like if you're somebody who is really invested in having mods for this game, you have this game on PC already. There's no way you don't.
I don't.
And
but you're right. I get your point. I'm not invested in mods.
You're a mod guy.
Yeah. And like Drake mentioned, like mod size, like all that stuff, like there's still limitations on the console mods. So you're still not even getting like the full mod experience. Like there's still stuff you're not going to be able to do because there's certain things you can't map to doing it on console.
Very true.
It's baby's first mods on console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which people have asked for it. I mean, this is what they've been begging for. So I don't know. I don't see this as I don't see everybody's like, oh my gosh, Sony's having such a rough week. I
think people just want to add it to a list. That's all.
Exactly. This is about as under the rug kind of thing as you can possibly get. By the way, with EA Access, I would gladly pay a higher price to get EA Access on both consoles.
Don't give them ideas.
I would if EA Access came out tomorrow and said, if EA came out at the next big event and said we're gonna be out on PlayStation, and if you are a current EA Access owner, we're gonna charge you an extra $10 a year, I would snap that up in a heartbeat so that I can have these games on both consoles.
I'll let Peter Moore know.
Well, I'm friends with him on Facebook. I can ask him.
Yeah, do it. Just be like, hey man, look, your service is great. Can I?
That was the weirdest thing, by the way. It's like I'm going. It's not only because he doesn't follow me on Twitter. I mean, I know who I know Peter, and he claims he remembers me from back in the day. Now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get a friend request, and it's Peter Moore, and I had to go back. I had to actually click on his profile to make sure it wasn't like
some troll account,
right? Or Peter Moore from Westville, Illinois, or something like that. Sure enough, it's
Tallahassee.
Wasn't it PlayStation though that refused at first to have EA Access on their console? Yes. So that's why they're lying in the bed they're lying in right now, currently.
Well, they're not lying any. What bet are they lying in? I mean,
I
honestly.
don't know. I can't get a discount.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why a lot of people, if you're a big EA fan, I've
Yeah.
had quite a few. But I'm saying like it's not going to really hurt them. But if like for people who, I've had a couple friends who I've talked them alone into getting a console, even though I didn't have EA access because I didn't care for EA games like that. But for them, they loved EA games like Battlefield and hockey and all that stuff. So when I told them that the Xbox had that and like PlayStation, they were asking if PlayStation had it, and I told them it didn't, then they ended up automatically going to the Xbox because I was telling them about the discounts that you get
And all the
yada
DLC,
yada yada,
Battlefield. Yeah.
and the
I mean,
trials.
It's a
Drake, your stash is creepy, according to Beastfire.
All right, so we're getting on. I think we're getting off the beaten path a little bit. And Manaleisure, thank you for that great question. And Jabril, thank you for asking about the mods. To answer one other quick question about that, I think Frankie also kind of tried to answer in the chat room. I don't know. I actually think the Horde mode in Gears of War is 30 frames per second. I've been reading a little bit.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. I think it's 30 frames per second. Okay.
I know. The campaign being a 30 makes sense because that's a lot to be rendering, but Horde mode's only like one map, isn't it?
I was talking about
It's
pretty busy. Like there's a lot of them coming out, and Horde mode is a lot of maps. It's a lot. There's like a
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're not like playing through this giant section like you are in the campaign itself.
no, yeah, but there's like in campaign there's enemies that kind of disperse slowly over time. In there's massive amounts of enemies that come in, and you have turrets going off, and you have all these boom shots going off, and shotguns, and yada yada yada. So, I mean, it's pretty hectic, man.
Did any of you watch the First to 50 stream?
Yes, I did.
It
I
was
actually talked about it last week.
pretty hot.
Yeah.
I talked about it last week on the podcast. I loved it.
All right.
Yeah, they probably couldn't get a consistent.
We're gonna get, and we're gonna talk about that more once we get closer to its launch. But since we're on 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I really would like to get everybody kind of out, so maybe we can play a little bit before the end of the night.
Yeah.
The other thing that we wanted to do tonight was give a very quick, and I'll make it as quick as I can, demo of. So coming up, of course, on the Xbox are clubs and things, and there's a new update out for preview members. So I wanted to give a quick show of that.
While you're doing that, I did have another giveaway going, but there was only one person that entered, and his name is HTK. You won a copy of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Woohoo! Yeah.
There you go. You
I
are
was the
lucky.
only one?
You were the only one.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, I'll send you the code.
The only
That's
handsome.
funny.
Winning.
So, by the way,
Lucky man.
real quick, there is
By default.
this is your last chance. We have it. If you want to put the link in there, Jason, there is a giveaway for 2 PC indie games from the personal stash of Modzu, and it is you want to click on that and you want to get your entries in before, when is it up? Midnight?
Midnight tonight.
All right.
Oh no, it's saying 41 minutes left. So
Oh,
you better hurry up.
yeah, because midnight. So
Yeah, midnight is
we're
approaching.
getting on midnight. So all right, let's do this. So we have
Hey, if we keep this going, it can be a live drawing.
Yeah.
let's not do that.
Yeah, if we do that, then we won't be playing any games tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So,
I want to play some games.
all right, so the big change, of course, to the for those that don't have the preview update, of course, is clubs. Oops, sorry, I went too far. I'm trying to get over to. Come on, there we go. Clubs. So we go into clubs, and I have a bunch of clubs already. I don't know why. Here, I've got
Club
invites.
invitations. Yeah.
All right.
Yay,
Beard
Games
Nation.
Lounge.
So these
Beard
are
Nation.
everybody and their mother's making a club right now. That's on the. JC. I'll get that. I will. All right. And then of course I gotta. Oh, that didn't work.
Report a problem here.
Oh no. All right.
Apparently, You can't
It
accept
is in
any more
preview,
invitations.
folks. It is in preview. So we have here's the club.
Hey, there's the Basement Radio Arcade podcast right there. Jeez,
And
nice
when's that go on?
Yeah.
He already did it many times. So here is the original Next Level Gaming Club. Those of you who are in the preview program, you can search for it, which, of course, if you go up here to
look,
Find a
the
Club.
Watch. Hosted by Anchorman.
Yes.
Of
If you
course.
go to Find a Club, you can type it in. Otherwise, you'll get these lovely invites, which I cannot apparently accept yet. Here's Beard Nation. Let's see if I can accept it from here. All right. So
Oh, there's a problem.
yeah, might be some issues going on. But
Mikey
let's
Barra
go-
better be in here watching this so he can
That's
see the bug.
right.
You know,
Where are you, Mike?
live, yeah.
I know. So we'll go to the original Next Level Club, and so of course we have no swearing, whereas every other club you can swear in, but not ours.
F.
Casual gamers, everyone's welcome. Mic required. So these are things that you can do to set your club up to get the right people.
Oh,
No
that's
swearing.
already.
No swearing. I might as
Yeah.
well leave the club then. Wow.
Yeah.
Geez, I haven't checked in a bit. The last time I
Oh,
checked,
look
there was like
who's-
6 of us.
Oh, look who's online.
Oh, nobody likes that guy.
Yeah,
So you know what?
There goes the neighborhood.
So good. So we can invite.
Hey, I know that guy.
It's a message from Brent. Brent wants to join the NLG club. Well, wonderful. So let's invite. You know what? I love these. So we'll invite him.
Wait, what if I'm not in the preview program?
You will not get the club yet.
Well,
Then you're
that's lame.
screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Such a loser.
I lost connection. Sorry. My PC's been having issues lately, so.
Oh,
but
hot PlayStation Network connection.
Where is it?
PSN connection, there you go.
This is local.
PSN connection, really.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right, so there we go.
It wasn't
I
me.
have now invited 2 people. I've invited Frankie, who can't get in yet because he's not in the preview program, but Brent may be.
I know he is.
So while he's doing that, we could start. So one of the big things you can do is you could start a club party. And if you start a club party, anybody who's in the club who's online will get shuffled into a party.
Am I in the club? Am I special?
Yes, you are.
Nice.
Now, did you? Who told me you still have to? HDK, you and I were playing with this the other day. You still have to say yes, I want to go in the party, right? It doesn't just automatically shoot you.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
it sends you an invitation just like if somebody invites you to party chat.
All right. So instead of having to go through, this is nice because instead of having to go through the whole list, and then doing the party, going down that whole list, which is horrible, you could just start a club party, and anybody who wants to come in who's in your club can do so. All right. The club has its own feed, its own activity feed, separate from the main activity feed. I can see who's in the club. So here are all of our people who are in the club. Drake's in the club.
Yeah, I know. The best one in there.
Who's
do
that
not-
Matt Jones guy? Isn't he an NLG guy?
Who?
Hey,
Matt
look at me, right there at the top.
Right there.
All right, and then of course now I'll show it. Although I can't do much. I can as an admin. Nakapuki from our Fine Fins would like to join. I guess I'll invite him. And Nate.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
So I can invite people who ask, and then there's some other stuff that's kind of private we won't show. Peter, you need to change the. I can't do it. I can't do it because you own the club.
Yeah. I got the keys.
Sweet.
I do not have Battleborn. I'm sorry, I cannot play with you. All right, so anyway, so you can change the icon. You can add the thing, but since I don't own the club because Peter got it started, so we could get it before anybody else did. He can
quick
change-
on the trigger he was.
Yes, he was.
Well, yeah.
It's always got to be first.
So
If you ain't first, you're last.
right.
Yeah,
And
right
so-
now.
Hell, you could be second, third, even fourth.
Now, one of the cool things that they're doing with these clubs are they're sectioning it out by game too. So people who play Destiny that have clubs, you can see them. Overwatch, Rocket League, Dagos. I should join the Dagos club. It's a great game. Such a great game. Force Unleashed and Team Xbox clubs. I invited Major Nelson, but he didn't join our club. We're not special enough. All right. So I can
invite
see all
Peter
the
Moore.
clubs. Here are all my club invitations.
Should invite Seamus.
Oh, hold on a seat.
Hey.
Now you bought the Slim and has to re-enroll. Oh no. All right. So. Wah 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 wah. So the clubs in and of themselves are there and nice. But one thing that they did change also, when you go to your friends list, now you can see not just your standard friends, but you could check your clubs and who is on that's in each club. And if you go into a party, so I'm going to start a party.
Yeah, invite me to the party.
And I will invite.
I'm logging on now.
Okay. Well, you know what? Do it this way. Well, no. Let me not start a club party because I don't want because we're not. This is just for test, and I don't want people to actually jump on and then go, "Oh, why aren't you talking to me?" So I will just invite. But you can also now look for a group. So if I type in.
The Looking for Group podcast.
So by looking for a group, I can look for, and I can add some tags, and then I can add a description, and then I can post on my feed that I'm looking for a Dagos group. So somebody could look at my activity feed and see that I'm looking for a Dagos group, and then they can invite me to their group. So, all right, so let me invite you, and I'll invite you to Frankie just to get a couple people in here.
Man, do I have to be in a party with Frankie? Come on.
All right, we'll wait till you guys join up.
Oh, he's playing Battleborn too. Oh, jeez.
Just
I think I need to reboot my router because my Verizon modem is also the main switch everything's plugged into.
Verizon modem.
Okay, so now we have the party, and so this is really cool. So now all the party controls are up top instead of down below. So you know,
and that color bar at the top is the color you select for your Xbox.
You know why this is I know why this is happening. Let me do it this way. Hold on. It's because, and I'm wondering how much this is also affecting my voice in the Hangout. Let me bring this down to high.
Your voice seems to be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just bring this down, and we'll just it's bandwidth. This is bandwidth intensive a little bit. Okay. So again, all my controls are here. But now it shows who the host of the party is, and then who's in the party. So, and as Jason, what were you just saying about the strip?
Oh, the strip at the top is a color of like whatever background color you chose on your Xbox.
Right.
So like mine would be green because I chose green, or was it blue? Something like that.
In this case, Stinger chose the Joker's main color, so yeah.
That's right. And this is Raven's colors. Get it right.
Isn't that the same thing?
All right, so that is.
Blue.
I don't believe that there was anything else big in this update other than the clubs and the.
There was a fix for some roughness in some backwards compatibility games, like Forza Horizon had some.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I did notice that.
Big change.
Yes, and I don't think anything was changed outside of that, so everything else is kind of where it is right now. But so join our club. If you want an invite, just click on it and join, and we'd love to have you. Also, I don't think there was anything else in the profiling that had changed. I think everything there was good. Damn, all right, we'll just cut it here since that's what's happening. So that's the update for there. I wanted to also point out because I just hadn't done it yet. I will be creating a Next Level Gaming PS community as well for those who want to keep up with stuff there. But this was just new, so I had been messing with that. All right, so that is the quick and easy demo of clubs on the Xbox One, which will be rolling out to people, I'm assuming, very soon. So, all right. Let me check the chat room and see if there's any other pertinent questions people have. Chat room guys, I gotta hand it to you. This was
Love
one
that
of the
chat.
best.
Good chat.
This is one of the best chat rooms I think we've had yet. I love having and
Every week it gets bigger and better.
Right, new people. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I know it got late, so I know some people have dropped off because we're hitting the 11:30 hour. Once again, we try to go. We try to go 90 minutes, but we just have such great conversations. It just, you guys, what you guys bring to Next Level Gaming is beyond words for me sometimes, and just there was no way we were gonna be short podcast because this was fantastic, and everybody brought some great insight into our discussions tonight. So, and the chat room, just on fire. I love and again, even though there are things in the people in the chat room that we disagree with as far as what they're saying and what we're saying, we still have such incredible respect for their opinions, and we truly appreciate, honest to goodness, looking you right in the eye. We appreciate.
Get close. Show 'em.
I can't do it. Hold on. Wait, that's how serious I am. I'm going Stanless.
Going Stanless.
That intimacy though.
Seriously, we do appreciate, honest to goodness, what you guys are doing in the chat room, and the fact that you're spending your Sunday night with us, especially on a football night. So I appreciate the score updates. I know Frankie really appreciates the score updates.
Oh yeah.
But in all honesty, what you guys are why we're doing this, and so every time someone watches one of the videos on our website or on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page, yeah, we're not even on Facebook. Every time someone watches one of those videos and clicks a like, every time someone subscribes because they see the content that Peter and Joe and Jason,
the daily gaming content,
and Crazy Juan are putting up, and myself and Nahapuki and Jairus37, who has some of the funniest streams I've ever seen. And in fact, during the podcast, Boulder Dash 30th anniversary video went up.
Nice.
Those are it's awesome. The Cardinals lost, son of a. Oh my God.
No swearing.
Unbelievable. All right, so. Anyway, thank you guys so much in the chat room. Honest to goodness, bottom of our hearts, we love you guys, truly.
Yes, thank you, chat room.
Yes. All right, very, 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 very quickly. Let's say 60 seconds apiece. Juan, what are you playing?
I've been playing Earthlock, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's really, really, really solid for a Game of Gold game. It's a throwback to the old JRPGs of yore. I can't recommend it enough. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's coming up on the middle of the month. Get it because it's totally worthwhile. And the Ark expansion, Scorched Earth, which I know is controversial, but I'm giving them the pass. It's worth the money in my opinion. They've done a great job backing everything up. Yeah, that's most of it right now. And tomorrow night, I think I'll be wrapping up the Crimson Skies.
Yeah, guys,
that's I wasn't here.
Seriously, especially for you younger gamers who did not have an Xbox, please watch that series. It's so good, so good. All right, and Crazy One, thank you for coming on, man. Being the first time on.
Oh yeah, well thanks for having me. it's good to finally, like I said, be on a human being schedule again and hang with the crew. Hope we'll be back.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. So, Frankie, what do you got? What are you playing?
Of course, Battleborn. Also started Deus Ex. Liking it so far. So
you gonna play some Overwatch with us?
Probably not tonight. I gotta make dinner.
You just ate. You ate before.
He was.
Yeah, but
eating
Jen gets home from work at like midnight, so
he's like a hobbit.
Yeah,
You know, he has dinner, second
take care of the lady.
Yeah, he's gotta have a second dinner.
All right, Battleborn.
Battleborn, Deus Ex.
Deus Ex.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
And of course,
Recore Monday. I'm looking forward to that.
Tuesday. Oh, you would get it. Yeah, right. You get it early. We'll
I mean, I have it pre-ordered on Xbox, so
nice.
Midnight.
All right. So, and of course, thank you. Welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
So,
sorry, I don't mean to miss as I do, but
no, I know. Jason.
See, what have I played? Let's see. I played Batman Arkham Knight, King Oddball. I did a Twitch stream of that earlier today.
We'll be bringing that over to you too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Overwatch because it was a free weekend. NHL 17, some Rocket League, Ark Survival Evolved, Gear Gauntlet, Forza Horizon 6, Unraveled, Ori and the Blind Forest, and a bit of The Division.
You were a busy man.
Forza Horizon, the first one. That's not even including what I played on PC. I played No Man's Sky today.
Does Forza Horizon on the backwards compatible have the problems that people have mentioned, or is that
it had problems, but the patch
they fixed it?
Fixed
it. It's running very well now. The only thing I'd caution is if you change your gamer tag since, because remember they had that big gamer tag buyback. I had my save under a different gamer tag, and I was not cautious in how I moved it over, and ended up overwriting my save. So
gotcha.
You want to be careful if you're moving it from
mods guy.
All right. Awesome, Joe.
I've been playing like 7 Days to Die. I just got the Ark Survival Evolved.
Yes.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Severely disappointed with that game.
No, you were.
Yeah, I was. I beat it in 16 hours, and it was supposed to be a 30-hour game, and I did all the side quests to it too. So I was pretty disappointed with it. Also Forza Horizon 2. I wish you guys could see me put up a middle finger to 1 because I hated it that much. But the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Hey, have you been playing Gears of War Ultimate Edition lately?
Yeah. And then
nice.
Resident Evil 4. I just bought We Happy Few. So, and I've been playing Overwatch, which I'm looking forward to playing with you guys. But to finish it up, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Picking it up?
All right, Peter.
Paddleboard.
Yeah.
Noodles, slides. No. Great time at the beach and the pool. No, but I was playing some Ark, the Forza Horizons 1 and 2, Forza 6. Looking forward to playing Recore when I return, as well as the Forza Horizon 3 demo.
When it comes out, if it ever comes out.
It will.
Yeah, by the time I'm back,
here.
it will be out. So
Nice.
It's going to be nice.
All right. And let's see. For me, I've still been playing on the PlayStation 4. I've been still playing some Renegade GP. I'm sorry, Riptide GP Renegade, which I have a piece of news after we're done. And tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Jotun Valhalla Edition on PS4, which I got yesterday thanks to the lovely developer who I said I watched actually Brent. Frankie, I watched Brent stream that, and I said, holy crap, we got to cover that game. So I reached out. The developer said, sure. So I'm looking forward to bringing that out. That will be PS4. Dagos, which is, man, and you know what? A couple guys have bought that game based upon my couple of videos, and that's awesome. Dagos is a great overhead shooter. It's one of those, they call it a shmup, which is basically short for shoot 'em up. Really, really, really good. So, That was I've been playing that. Anything? Oh, and the Pit People closed beta, which I just put a video up today, or actually yesterday. No, it was today. It was
saying 13 hours ago.
Yeah, this morning. Pit People, which is, admittedly, it's not my kind of game. I'm not a turn-based guy, but the production value is so funny. Oh my god, the game is hilarious. Watch that video because it is hilarious. So that is what I have been playing, and I'll be playing Recore this week as well as like I say, tomorrow I'll be playing Jotun. All right. So,
one last thought that I had was,
yes,
I got my Design Lab controller in.
Ooh,
I love it. Nice. And it's one of the new ones that you would get with the S, so it's got the Bluetooth and everything. And I'm hoping it has a better bumper. I've been through some bumpers on some controllers, so that's one kind of knock on them. But I still love these controllers. But the Design Lab controller gives me some pretty good feelings about the new controller coming with the S, because that's the same model.
Nice.
I wanted to get one of those, but after using the Elite controller, I can never go back to anything else.
I am still on my day one.
Yeah, the controllers feel great, but I think that the Elites definitely trump the hell out of the regular controllers.
It does.
$150 better.
Yeah.
I use
$119 when they get them on sale.
My only issue with the Elite is it has the same bumper design as the second version of the controller, and I'm not really keen on that. Some other time I'll get into why I think it's kind of flawed. So I'm trying to keep the miles off my Elite because it'd be a lot more to replace at this point. So I'm using my like my Forza Ed or my Lab more.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, very cool. All right, I think that's everything. I did want to. There's a programming note for next week. So I was I know a lot of people dropped out of the chat room because it is getting late, but we'll put this out on Twitter. Next week's podcast will not be on Sunday. Next week's podcast will be Monday night, the 19th, at 8:15 p.m. We are having Matt Small from Vector Unit on. Vector Unit, one of my top indie developers. They are responsible for not only Riptide GP Renegade, which I am playing, but Riptide GP2, Beach Buggy Racing, which I do have other videos on NLG on, an excellent couch co-op racing, arcade racing game, kart type game, and backward compatible on the Xbox One, but the Xbox 360 version of Hydro Thunder Hurricane. And they've done some mobile as well. Riptide was big on mobile for them. So we are going to have them. We are going to have Matt on next week to talk to us about Vector Unit and his games, and hopefully some other stuff. I told him come and be relaxed, bring a beer, and so we're looking forward to having him on. And I'm really stoked about that one because I'm a very big fan. I will be wearing my Beach Buggy Racing shirt next week.
Cool.
So, all right, thank you everybody. My awesome panel. You guys are just it's not even co-hosts. It's just this is the team, the NLG team. With you guys, this has become something beyond anything I could imagine. Once again, thank you so much to the chat room. You guys were on fire tonight. Fantastic, and I love the fact once again that there are diverse and different opinions in that room that we interact with, but not everybody is agree. I love it. We could disagree about things and have great discussions, and the chat room was just absolutely phenomenal tonight.
Oh yeah.
Good chat.
Zach Galifianakis approves this message.
So, like and subscribe as you see up in the upper right corner. Make sure you are following us on Twitter, which is OG_NL Gaming. And, of course, all the links to everybody's Twitter and Short Pause is down in the description below. Make sure you're following us on Twitch at OG_NL Gaming, where a lot of great content ends up there before it hits the YouTube channel. You can catch our fine fins, Yaris37 and Nahapuki, who stream during the day because it's 8 hours ahead. And we're going to get Yaris on the podcast. He says he's going to be able to stay up until 3 a.m. his time to be on the podcast one night. So we're going to get him
Nice.
1 week on the podcast. I cannot wait for that. Follow us on Beam at beam.pro/team/OG_NLG. That should be in the description too. If you click on that, you'll find myself, HTK, and Madzu's channel. Crazy Juan, you need to accept the invite to that if you get back on Beam so you can be part of the team on there. It's great.
Yeah, man, be a part of the team. Come on.
Basically, you go on the team page. This is what's neat about Beam. One of the cool things that they do. You go to the team page instead of our individual pages, and you can literally click on whoever you want to watch at that moment. And so if we're all streaming the same game, until they get co-streaming together, which they are working on, you could actually click. Like if we're all playing Battlefield 1, or if we're all playing Call of Duty, or if we're all playing a game if we're all playing Rocket League, then you could click on my stream, watch it from my standpoint, click on Madzu's stream a few minutes into it, and watch it from his standpoint, and so on. So that's a really neat
cool
thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting my internet unpotatoed with the move, so.
Nice. So
Hopefully
make
that'll
sure
have
you
some
follow
streaming.
us there. Like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel as well. We are approaching 600 subs, and we love every one of you guys. All right. Anybody have any last words before we sign off?
Stay classy, San Diego.
I just once again want to thank everybody that came out tonight to support us and all the hard work we do here.
And it is definitely. At this point, don't subscribe to the channel for me. Subscribe to the channel for these gentlemen down below.
For Drake.
There you go. Do it for Drake. Win one for the Drakester.
Yeah.
So, yeah, subscribe for these guys.
Somewhere out there, there's a poor Drake.
They're
Easily
putting
fed.
so much content and hard work and stuff into not just this podcast, but everything you see on that channel and on Twitch and on Beam, and it's amazing. So please give them some support. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Tell a friend. All right, so everybody have a great week. We will see you Monday next week, the 19th at 8:15 special time. But until then, have a great week. Make it a gaming week. Also have a great weekend, and then we'll see you next week. Play on, gamers.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Peace out.
Yeah.